What's up? You're about to watch my course from my paid program, Educational Content Creators. This is supposed to be a paid course, but you can just have this one for free and enjoy. Let it help you in building the dream business. And then if you want all of the courses that we've got in here, and you also want me to look at your content and you want to join the community, so if you really want to level up as a content creator and make money online, then go click on the top link in the description and you can see the program that we have here. Hello. Thank you for joining my program. I wanted to start off by giving you some hype for this life that you're about to get into. Let's cover my results first. So, I started becoming an influencer in 2020 in May. 7 months later, in December, I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and I made £650. My goal was actually 500, so I surpassed my goal there. Then in January, the next month, so January 2021, I made £1,200. So at this point, it's like a full-time income, which took me about 7 or 8 months to make a full-time income online, which was unreal. And I hovered around here 1.2, 1.5K for the next few months. But then in July, that's when a lot of things changed for me. One of my first videos ever just blew up randomly at the same time that I was releasing a paid program on the same topic as that video. So I went from about 1.2, 1.5K to 15,000 in the month of July 2021. From there, I stayed about 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 for all of 2022. By the end of 2022, it was about like 35,000. And this is $1,000 per, like some of it is in pound. Actually, this was in pounds. By this point, I started to talk about it in dollars. A month, not per year, a month. And then finally, in 2023, I released my really good paid product and I made 75K in one day, seriously. And since that point, I've been above 100K. So it. Sometimes I say it and I can't even believe it. The numbers, you kind of get lost in the numbers sometimes. But the lifestyles where it actually is more interesting. It's, you see the date, right? It's Wednesday, the 4th of February, 2026 at 6 a.m. I wake up so early to work on this, right? With like a smile on my face. But before I came to sit down on my computer, I woke up in my villa. And I went downstairs to the living room, turned on the digital fireplace, and put on the TV and put like this yoga follow along, like stretching sort of follow along video. And I followed that. It felt nice to be like stretching in the morning and everything. I made a coffee. And then once I finished there, I went over to my sauna that's in my villa. And I'm looking out across my if this is the sauna here, I'm looking out across the pool, the garden. Like I look at my home and I can't even believe I live here, right? Let me just quickly show you. Like every day when I look out at my villa, I genuinely can't believe that this is my home. Like this is my living room, right? It looks like almost AI generated. Hang on, my phone is in black and white. Let me just change it for you. I keep my phone in black and white for like lower dopamine, but yeah, here. Like this is my living room. It looks like there's a jungle outside, right? And then here's my sauna. Like this is mine, this is private, this is in my back garden. It's beautiful. Then the pool. This is my dream house and I can't believe I live here. And it costs me, it's £8,000 to live here, right, a month. And that's the equivalent of about 5% of how much money I make. So even though 8K a month is, it's pretty expensive for a home, it's 5% of what I make. So the equivalent for a normal person who makes like 3K is like they spend $150 a month on rent. Like that's how much it kind of like stings to me to be here. Like I can't believe like this is my home. I get to live here. It doesn't stress me out of how much it costs. I live like so close to everything that I care about. I wake up, I do what I want at the time that I want to. I woke up a little bit earlier than usual today, about 5 a.m., 5:30. Usually I wake up at about 6 naturally, but I just woke up a little bit earlier. But I can wake up at what time I want. I don't have an alarm for the morning, you know? Yesterday I met my girl in the morning and I took her to this cafe that I like and we got like a nice like coffee and this like sweet treat there. And when I was driving over to her because it was like pretty early, I literally like I physically looked at my watch and saw it was like Tuesday at like 7:45. And I swear to God I did this. I know this sounds like cliche, but I thought about what I was doing at this time 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I was like waking up, getting ready for work, sleep deprived, and so depressed, getting ready, putting on the clothes. It just feels cold and miserable. And here I am after a few hard years of work. I'm driving over to this beautiful, amazing, amazing girl's place. We're gonna go have like French toast, like pancakes or something, like in the morning. And I've probably made more in this morning when I haven't even worked than I usually would do in like a week or 2 weeks back at home working like a normal job. Like the lifestyle of an influencer is just so good. I genuinely, like I promise you, I genuinely work like 3 to 5 hours a week, honestly. Like it's like I'm retired. I'm the most like someone said this to me recently. He said, "You're the most free person I know." I'm literally the most free person because of the business model we're talking about, but the particular way that I've set up the business model, because there's a lot of influencers and content creators who are still almost like slaves, like they still have to work at 2 a.m. doing crazy shit. They have to stay up late and whatever. But I've set up my lifestyle in a way where I make a fuck ton of money. I'm very successful, but I have like freedom, which was the point of the money in the first place. And that's what inside of this program I'm going to teach you as well. Then purpose is another one to talk about because it's not just about money and my own selfish gain, but this really helps people, right? Chances are if you're here, you may have come from my sort of influencer page where I teach like how to be an influencer. So maybe there's a chance you don't know me, but there's a big chance that if you've joined this, you've maybe seen my videos for years because I grew like 2 million followers on my main channel, which is where I teach like self-improvement, right? Now I've started like a new one where I teach like actually content and business to people, but biggest chances you're probably from here. And I'm 28 years old and I'm like a father figure or like a big brother figure to like millions of guys. Like guys come up to me in the gym, usually like 2 or 3 per day. And I live like in a pretty remote place, all right? I live in Bali. I don't live in like, some major city or anything, right? But like every day, like 2 or 3 guys come up to me and they say that I changed their lives and like they're here because of me, that they didn't have fathers growing up and that I, in some ways, was like that masculine father figure for them. I've just had a few guys who have been here from Poland and one from London, and it's like they speak to me as if I'm like I saved them. That we had such deep conversations where like they were like really like Hamza like really thank like because each of the 3 guys was like they came here for a few months and they're leaving. They're like really thank you. And just yesterday I was in the gym and this guy came up to me who I keep seeing in the gym, and he was like, "You've saved my generation. Like you were exactly what we needed, and you've helped so many guys like me. I know so many guys who have watched your videos and they've really improved. You're doing God's work." Like this isn't just about my success. Like this is literally like it's helping other people, right? And this is the same thing for you. This business that you're about to start or you're going to grow with my help. It's not just about the success that we build. Because look, let's be honest. It is really important. It's sweet to become successful and make money and to like buy the villa and whatever, right? It's really nice to have that. But knowing that at the same time you're also helping people just makes it next level. Like just making money, okay, sure. Like that's pretty nice. Okay, here, sure. Like that's at this level. This is like most people's ambition, right? To get to like level 3 in terms of like ambition. Okay, I want to get rich. But if you're here, it's because you're just more ambitious than everyone else. You want to get to level 4, which is that you want to get rich, but you also want to help people at the same time. You also want to have an amazing lifestyle at the same time. Most people don't really consider those things. You're just more ambitious than the rest. So this business model, I swear to God, it's like one of the most purposeful because you can genuinely, like this isn't an exaggeration. how many people can say this? And I really genuinely don't believe what I'm about to say is like boasting or arrogance. I've helped millions of guys. I've helped millions of people. How many people in our generation can actually say that and it not be like bullshit, like it actually be true? I can say that with, like, you can see in my face, there's no emotion. I'm just stating it like a real fact. I've helped millions of people. I've educated millions of men. I may have changed the future of humanity by getting millions of guys to be more disciplined, more masculine. Like, how insane is that impact that you can have in this business whilst you're only working a few hours a week and you're getting rich at the same time, like, and you're also helping people to such a significant degree? It is just beautiful. For a little bit more of a shallow benefit, like of a hype, clout is nice. Let's just be honest, like it's cool to say like, oh yeah, I don't care, bro. When you've got followers and likes and views, it's nice. Like that's something cool in the modern day. It is the coolest job in the world, is being an influencer. I'm telling you right now, like people find out you're an influencer and when you've got followers, it doesn't matter what type of person they are, they respect you. I'm telling you, there's people who want to be influencers. There's people who think the whole space is kind of cringe, and the way they talk about it, whatever. They're like, oh yeah, everyone here is a content creator, whatever. There's old guys who don't even understand social media at all. But I'm telling you, when people find out that you're like a YouTuber, you're like a TikToker, but that it's educational and you help people, and when you've got a large following, I'm telling you, every single person respects it. Girls are attracted to it. Guys are attracted to it. Everyone respects it. I know the clout seems like a bit of a shallow, empty thing, but everyone sees it now as the sort of universal currency, the same way that like fiat money is as well. You know how like everyone understands money has value. Nowadays, everyone understands like having a follower base has value as well. Even old grandmas, like when I speak to old people, 60, 70 years old, and they ask me what do I do, and I say YouTuber, they're like, whoa, what do you YouTube about? And I tell them, oh, I help young men. I do this. They're like, wow, that's really good. And how many followings do you have? Like, how many followers do you have? And I said, like, oh, like 2 million. They're like, wow, because they know it. I'm talking like 60, like old, like elderly people still are like, wow, great job, because everyone understands that clout has value these days. Everyone gets it, right? Especially the way that we're doing it, because it's mixed with educational purpose. So we're helping people as well. It just makes you cool. Let's just accept this fact. Just having a lot of followers, views and stuff, bro, it makes you feel cool and makes people think that you're cool and makes people more attracted to you. And the more followers you have, by the way, the more like passive people that will just like message you. Like you'll passively get people who have got similar values to you, whether it's like friends or even like dating partners. They will literally message you first. Like the amount of girls who message me first on Instagram is actually pretty fucking insane. Like I don't even like have Instagram anymore. I'm not even logged in, just because I try not to like consume or be on the social media platforms. That's like a separate thing. But like the amount of girls who message me first, like if you saw that, you'd be like, what the fuck? This is like celebrity level. Like how interesting is that? And it's probably more than celebrity level. Potential dating partners will watch your content for like 5, 10 hours for 2 years, 3 years. They already know so much about you. They've already fallen for you before they've even met you. And the same with potential friends who find that they've got similar values to you. They'll literally message you first. This is how you will have your social life. Probably about 80% of my friends now are people who actually watched my content first, came up to me in some way or another, and then we became friends. Probably just about 10 to 20% of people, they didn't know me, I didn't know them, but like a lot of people just knew me, and they happened to like stumble across me or message me or something, and I vetted them, thought they had good values and whatever. And how nice is that? That it just makes it so easy to just have like a social life and a dating life, because of the fact that you've been growing your business. Like this was for business, this was for money, and you also got a dating life and sexual life at the same time. Sweet, nice, right? And it's similar to this. These 2 points are very similar. Like I'm telling you, like just trust me when I say I meet a lot of people, right? I meet a lot of people who do businesses, because I live in Bali, which is like the sort of capital of the world of young people who make money online, and they move here, and everyone wants to do some kind of online business. Everyone is jealous of the influencer. There's a lot of people doing other businesses, the agency, drop shipping, copywriting, whatever. All of them are jealous of the influencers. They may not say it. They may actually actively say, no, I don't want to be famous, whatever. Everyone's jealous of the influencers, and influencers are jealous of no one except maybe other influencers. I'm telling you, it's the truth, 100%. When you talk to people who do alternate businesses, who aren't influencers or content creators, but they do something vague that they can hardly even explain to you. Yeah, I have a software company that scales and blah, blah, blah. Like they just say some bullshit fucking PR words, like keywords, right? You'll actually ask them about their lives and you'll realize, like, bro, like, we're in a lucky business model. Most people's businesses are not purposeful. They don't actually help people. They're just trying to get a margin somewhere, like drop shipping or doing some bullshit. Their lifestyle is the biggest one. Most people's lifestyles, even if they do make money, like you can get good results in every business. I'll won't lie to you. You can make a lot of money doing any business model. But most business models, the lifestyle you have will be shit. Almost every single person who isn't like a content creator, their lifestyle is whack. Like they have to take sales calls like 6 hours a day. They have to like not. They can't come to the gym today because they've got another meeting. I'll see them like sleep deprived. Oh yeah, bro, I was up till 2 a.m. doing calls. And I'm thinking like, bro, like, but you don't even make that much money, and you don't even have that good of a lifestyle. You're not even helping people, and you've got a fucking business model that's like made you worse than like at least the person who works 9 to 5. At least they come home at an appropriate time, and they can kind of swish off after that. Most businesses, I'm telling you, they're actually not that nice in terms of like lifestyle development. People only do them just because people are just basically retarded and they're just trying to get to level 3 ambition, which is okay, well, I want to get rich. So then they think, oh, well, what can make me rich? Dropshipping, trading, e-commerce, whatever. They'll do all these fucking businesses that can get them rich. But they just have like a limp dick version of ambition instead of having like a fucking full size cock of ambition, because if you've got like big dick energy, you'll choose level 4 ambition, which is, yeah, you want to get rich, but you want to have the lifestyle at the same time. You want to get rich, but not be busy. You want to get rich and also help thousands or even millions of people at the same time. Most people just have level 3 ambition. They just want to get rich. And so naturally they choose business models that they've heard about online, like agency, drop shipping, whatever. Their lifestyle is shit. And they're also not even just like actually feeling purposeful at all. We have such a different vibe here where we make a ton of money, we get the results, we're also helping people, we also get clout, which is quite nice, and we also, most importantly, we get a lifestyle that lets you actually like experience the world properly. You're not staying up till 2 a.m. doing sales calls and whatever, and you're not like working like a slave. Like you have made a business that is literally 10 out of 10. You work a few hours a week. A few years from now, you're making like 10K a month, maybe even more, 25, 50K a month. You're helping thousands of people. And your work task is just like recording content, basically just speaking your mind, which is actually pretty fun as well. Like we literally have a 10 out of 10 business model. I would even go as far as to say, like, you can quote me on this. I actually think being an influencer is the best way to make money in human history. I think if you study history, I don't think there's a better way to make money than being an influencer. Like how easy it is, how just frictionless it is. You just record content, post it, and you can be making like 100K a month like that. It's such a low amount of hours, but it also helps people. It's so fun. It gets you this extra sort of bonus of like attractive points and everything. We really do have the best business model here, and I'm so excited for you because now is genuinely the best time for you to be really taking becoming an influencer like so seriously. Like I really promise you that. So I'm hyped for you, and I hope you feel this as well. This is the best business model possible. This is the best way to make money in human history, and now is the best time. Remember that quote. Everyone is jealous of the influencer, because I promise as you grow on this journey and you start, people ask you what you do, you'll start to feel this the same way, and it'll pop up in your mind at some point, like a year or two from now, when someone random asks you what you do, and there's other people around and everyone suddenly pays attention to you. You'll remember that quote, like everyone's jealous of the influencers, where influencers are jealous of no one except maybe other influencers. So I hope this hypes you up. Go over to the next module where I'm going to explain exactly how being an influencer works. Okay, let's cover how being an influencer actually works. Let me break it down so it's not vague for you at all. So step number 1, and the most important part of all this, is to make banger content. Basically, this means we're going to make content that we post to social media, and we're going to make sure it's a banger, which basically using this term as like a video that does well, that people like, that performs on the algorithm, all that kind of stuff. And there's a few parts to this. So if you want to start posting content, the most important part is what's called the avatar. And this is something that I want you to think about right now. The avatar basically means who are we making the content for? When you get clear on this, which doesn't need to take much time at all, like within the next like 1 minute, you'll have your answer, by the way. But when you get clear on this and you really start to make your content and also every decision you make in this business for the avatar, this business will go so much easier for you. So the big question to ask is, who are we going to make our content for? Who are we going to try to help with our social media content? What people do we want inside of our audience? Now, for 90%, 99% of the people who are watching this, the answer is so simple. It's the same answer that I would give you as well, which is basically younger you. We're making content for the younger version of ourselves. That's who we're trying to help. We don't need to think of someone vague or someone else and, like a stranger. We don't need to think about like, oh, let's try and help like, rich guys because they'll have more money. No. Just forget all that sort of marketing BS. The person that you can help the most out of like the world, out of society, is younger you. Now, younger you is probably going to be pretty similar to me and younger me because, you found my content and stuff. But it's going to be pretty unique compared to the general world. Now, younger me, for example, younger Hamza, he was, what was he? He needed so many things. Like, let's say when I was 17 years old, I got into weightlifting because I wanted to be more attractive to girls. I wanted to be more confident. So bearing that in mind, I can make content that appeals to his desire of wanting like a girlfriend and being sort of kind of okay to grind a little bit to achieve that. I can think about my younger self, think about what pained him, think about his goals, think about what he really wanted. And then I can make content that appeals to him and gives him the transformation that he wanted. So younger me, for example, the biggest transformation he basically wanted, if I had to put it into perspective, I'd call it now like Jeffrey to Adonis, which is like the two characters I use in my videos, but for people who don't really understand that, I'd call it basically I was like a fairly like average or maybe below average kind of guy in terms of the social hierarchy of people in school. I wasn't super attractive, I wasn't super confident, whatever. I was probably about below average, and I just wanted to get above average. I wanted to be like the top of the hierarchy, what we can call like the Chad, basically. I wanted to have like I wanted to become like the popular, attractive guy that gets girls and also gets the respect from guys, and the way that you'll do that basically is through improving yourself, self-improvement. So you think first about who you want to attract. And like I said, for most people here, that's as simple as younger you. For some people here, it might not be. You might be wanting to attract a completely different type of person from your younger self. You might want to attract, for example, I don't know, older guys, or you might even want to make it for the opposite sex. Maybe you want to give advice to women, or if you're a woman, you want to give advice to guys. That can make sense. But for most people, it's going to be younger you. Then you think about, okay, for the content, we're going to be attracting my avatar. What transformation does my avatar want the most? So just think about who your avatar is. Maybe it's younger you, maybe it's someone else. What transformation do they want the most? For me, it was like being below average to above average, social hierarchy, being attractive, that kind of thing. What is it for you? Maybe for you, the sort of version of you that you think about, it's more specific than that. Maybe it's that the biggest transformation he wanted was to just improve his grades. You can see how that's just like one topic that we could focus on. Mine, from being below average to above average in the sort of social hierarchy, becoming attractive to girls, whatever, that probably covers like 10 different topics in terms of like attractiveness, confidence, social skills, whatever. And that's fine. You can have a sort of transformation that you're going to help your avatar with, whether it's like a very specific one, like for example, he just wants to lose fat, or it's a bit more of a general one, like I've done with my big YouTube channel, which is more like, okay, well, he wants to lose fat, but he also wants to gain muscle, and he also needs to talk to girls, and he also needs to like sleep properly to increase his testosterone, and he also wants to make money online because that will help him to achieve this sort of transformation. You can see that it's pretty fluid. You don't have to stay stuck onto like, I just helped them with one thing. It's more like you just helped them with one transformation. What transformation did your younger self want the most? Really think to yourself, what was it? Was it a bit more of a general sort of like whole life transformation? Or was it something very, very specific? Like, for example, you really just wanted to get into like this university or into law school or something. Was it specific, like one thing? Okay, I just want to get into law school. Or was it a bit more general, like, okay, I just want to become like more of a fucking like better man, which encompasses like 10 different topics. Either way, there's one transformation that we really help people with. Inside the transformation, there may be 5 different topics, or 1 or 20. It's okay. But it's one major transformation. So this is now what I just call, for me, it's like the Jeffrey to Adonis transformation, where I help guys basically who are like younger me. Jeffrey basically means like loser, and Adonis basically means like winner, kind of like beta male, alpha male. That's the kind of transformation that I help young guys go through. Inside of that, there's like 20, 30 different topics that we talk about. But that's really it. Once you think about who your content is for, and you get clear on, okay, who is it? Is it my younger self? Is it someone else? And for most of it, it's our younger self. Then we think about the transformation that they really want. And that makes the content that we're going to make so simple now, because we know who we're going to try to attract, because chances are we are the avatar, or we were the avatar just a few years ago. And we also know now what we're going to talk about, because we just want to help them to achieve the transformation that we remember that felt super important to us. So who should be nice and simple. Who do you want to help? For most of us, okay, it's this. For some of us, you might have like a very specific type of person you want to help who's not like your younger self, but most of us here. And for what? Literally just think back to yourself if you feel a bit stuck. Think back to yourself, like, what goal meant the most to you? And how did you achieve that goal? For example, for me, when I was pretty young, I was 16, 17, 18, that's when I really wanted to get better with girls. That was like one clear goal. But to achieve that goal, I had to level up in like 10 different areas. So I don't need to necessarily just speak about like one singular topic, because, for example, to get better with girls, I went into bodybuilding to build like a sexy physique that could be more attractive to girls. And so then naturally it's like, if I want to make content for this younger version of me, I can pull him in with content about bodybuilding, about building an aesthetic physique that's sexy towards girls. I can pull him in by speaking about online dating. I can pull him in by speaking about masculinity and confidence and dominance and attractiveness and style and testosterone. I can pull him in with so many different things, because even though his one goal was to get girls, there was like 10 things that I was doing when I was young to achieve that goal, but basically to have the transformation of like the type of guy who isn't attractive to girls to the type of guy who is attractive to girls. You see what I mean, right? So it's like you can be pretty fluid with this, but the biggest thing is like we get super clear on like who's the person we're trying to help and what's the transformation that meant a lot to them. Once you have this, your content is so simple, because you just make content for this person. And that's like set. Like this is kind of like the philosophy, the sort of direction that you're going to go into. To get more specific on like how to actually make the content that is like a banger that performs well, we've got some courses inside of this program that you've got access to, which I call like the banger formula modules, which will teach you like, okay, how do you actually make the kind of like content, like YouTube video, that will perform well. So you can go ahead, it's like they look like this one here, they look like that. So you can go and find that after this and go study that. But next, after this, once we post content, the reason why we're posting content is because we want to grow an audience of people. That looks kind of like a penis, but like we want to grow an audience of people who are like our avatar. And so the way that we do that, here's like a philosophy for you, is be cringe. Once you know who you're going to speak to and what you're going to speak about, lean into being basically cringe, in the sense of like speaking directly to that version of you about the topic that he cared about, but in a way that he would love, but other people would think was kind of cringe. So what I mean by this is, let me give you the example, right? So who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to my younger self. He's 16, 18 years old. He's like horny. He wants to get girls, okay? What am I going to speak about? Well, it's the transformation he needed to be able to attract girls into his life, which is, okay, go from being like a loser to like a winner, go like become an attractive man. Now, the sense of being cringe is, there's a bit of a block for me to talk about a lot of this stuff, because, it's personal, it's about girls, it's a bit private, whatever. But if you lean into that and you talk as if it's only your avatar who's listening, and he will actually quite like what you're saying because, it's his goal, but everyone else will find it kind of cringe. Because imagine, like, if I speak directly to younger me and I teach him, like, here's how to kiss a girl, he'll lean in and he'll actually, like, take it seriously. But a bunch of other guys and even girls will find it kind of cringe that I'm talking about something like this, right? And that's completely okay. In fact, it's like encouraged. You want to speak in your content in a way that would be cringe to almost everyone other than your avatar, but your avatar would really like it. So you speak holding nothing back. You speak as if you have no haters. Like that's what you've got to like start to pretend is everyone's obsessed with you. Everyone loves you. You have no haters. You speak to your avatar as if they all love you already and there's no haters who can ever like whoever hate you or whoever can like look at your content. You just speak to the avatar. When you speak like that, your avatar really likes you. You do get some haters, of course. That's like the name of the game we're in. But you've got to lean into that because if you play it safe and you don't speak about the sort of cringe, uncomfortable topics, you won't attract your avatar in the first place because other people are speaking in this sort of like open, unfiltered way that your avatar will just go and follow instead. The game of social media these days, you really have to speak like so unfiltered, like so real to your younger self. Like you have to say exactly what's on his mind and you have to like be so aware of your own psychology that sometimes you might not say what you really need to say to your younger self because literally you're like visualizing someone else when you talk. You're visualizing like, I don't know, someone who would find you cringe, or you're visualizing like some hater on the internet or someone who makes like videos about people like you and calls them cringe or whatever. Whenever you start to think of anyone other than your avatar, you start to make the worst decisions in this business. So here's like a bit of philosophy, like a bit of thinking practice, like a mindset for you. Try to just visualize your avatar, like your younger self, as much as possible. Make him love you. Make the kind of content that he like would find like a gold mine, and ignore everyone else. Like try never to ever make any decision in business, trying to never make a piece of content when you're thinking about someone else. It's so interesting because like really take this seriously because of how specific this is. You'll be doing so well in this business model, and one day you'll get like a hateful comment, or eventually you'll get people who make like hateful videos about you, and then you'll be kind of defensive, that you'll start to like visualize the haters when you make your videos, and you'll then start to speak in a way to hopefully get like the validation of the haters rather than off your avatar, and that's when your sort of downfall will begin. You have to just keep your avatar at the forefront of your mind and think of no one else. If you just speak to your avatar as real as you can, as unfiltered as you can, you'll grow an audience of people like that. That's what like the big goal is here. We post content because we want to grow an audience of the people who are like the younger version of us. Then when we have done that, we've posted a bunch of content, we've grown an audience of people who are like younger us. The way that we make money from this is we sell them something. Now, the most common way that people sell is by taking sponsors, and we can do this, but this is one of the worst ways to monetize. The better way to monetize it is actually to make your own product. Taking a sponsor isn't bad, by the way. It's just like there's pros and cons to everything, and maybe eventually you'll do both. If you feel fine with taking a sponsorship, then go ahead. I always felt like it was a bit cringe, like putting it into my videos. And you know, this video is sponsored by this thing, whatever. If you don't think that's cringe, then you could feel free to take some sponsorships like in the future when you've got like a bit of a big following. But either way, we basically, when we have the audience, we get something to sell them, you know, like a link in bio. We either have like a sponsorship from a company that says, oh, hey, if you talk about our product for 60 seconds, we'll pay you like $3,000. Or eventually we'll just make our own product and we'll just sell like something that's super easy to sell, like a digital product to our audience, because our audience like us. When someone is in your audience, they like you. And when you tell them, oh, hey, I made this thing, like about like 0.5 to like 1% of people will buy the thing that you said, which is pretty sweet, isn't it? So you'll when you get the audience by posting the good content, when you eventually sell something, some of your people will actually buy it, which is really, really nice, isn't it? So this is how being an influencer works. There's a bit of like sort of psychology that you have to think about. Okay, who are we going to speak to? What are we going to help them with? I have to speak to them in a way that they really will love me and everyone else will find me cringe. But now that you understand the sort of the basic structure of how being an influencer works, there should be no like, you know, mystery behind it. Because a lot of people think it's kind of like they don't understand how you can make money from this. When you grow an audience of people who like your content, they just kind of trust you and like you. And when you mention that you've got something in the bio, you know, like, oh yeah, click the link in the bio, click the link in the description. Like 0.5% of people, 1% of people go ahead and buy that, which is actually really, really sweet, right? So then eventually when you make your product, which I'll help you in this program, you'll start to make money. But the biggest focus to begin with is the content. So this is basically the breakdown of how being an influencer works. Let's cover the ECC roadmap, basically how it's going to work when you're inside this program. So right now, step one is to go through the welcome course. You're here now and you're finishing this up, which is awesome. Step two is to create bangers. Like we said in the previous section, we're going to make banger content and we're going to focus on this because this is like the big part of being an influencer. And so banger content, what it actually looks like is YouTube longs and then Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube short. And I help you with all of this. So what you do is you see these other three things we have here. We have the YouTube video formula, we have the Instagram, TikTok shorts formula, and we also have, this is like in the calendar page, we have my weekly call where I look at content and review and give you ideas. So go through these two courses, the YouTube video formula and the Instagram, TikTok shorts formula. I've made like separate things inside the classroom section. Go through those and you'll learn how to make videos that actually perform on the algorithms. And then every Sunday I do a call where you can go onto the call. It's always fun and everything. We always just have a laugh. And then we look at each other's content and then I can give ideas to everyone whose content that I look at. So that's on Sundays and you can go and like add it to your calendar here when you click on like the calendar section inside of ECC. So this is like the big part of your sort of journey here, focusing on this, making videos that perform, building a bit of an audience, and then when it's time to sell, step number 3 is to create your product. So I will literally help you step by step on creating the same kind of product that I sell, which is like a digital product. It's very easy to sell. It makes a lot of money passively. It's like the best product to sell, in my opinion. And I'll help you to make your first digital product and start making money. That's it. This is the roadmap for you to follow. If you put your trust in this, you will build success in this business model, which is like the best business model possible. So now the next step, go over to these courses here and here, add this to your calendar, and come see me on the calls on Sundays. And yeah, just work hard, make the content that really does well. And this is literally like, it's such a life-changing business. I'm so excited for you. Like I keep saying this, I keep thinking this myself. This year, like 2026, it is the best year to be like a small creator. And I expect many of us this year to be posting some videos that blow up. They get 20K views, 50K views, 100K views, even 500K views. And when you get a video that blows up, we quickly go and help you to make the product and you start monetizing and you do really fucking well. And yeah, you've just made the business of a lifetime. And maybe in a few years' time, maybe you can be in Bali next to me. You can wake up in your beautiful villa and go do yoga in the morning and go do the sauna. You work at like 6 a.m. You work like 1 hour a day. That's it. Like after that, I record this video, like once this video ends, that's like my work done for the day. And I make like 100K a month, like passively. Like I can't believe how good this business model is. And it helps people and they're so grateful for you. And they, you know, you educate people, you're a teacher. And honestly, like I really think it's possible within like a few years. Like I'm never going to lie to you and say like, oh yeah, in 2 weeks, whatever. But within a few years, if you dedicate your life to this, you could have a lifestyle very similar to mine. You work a few hours a week. You live in like your absolute dream home. You live in like the best place that you've always wanted to live. Like, you know, maybe it's Bali, maybe it's Dubai, maybe it's somewhere else. You make a ton of money. You've retired your family and you also just help people at the same time. And you take so much pride in your work, so much satisfaction, so much fulfillment because you're actually helping people. And every single time when people ask you like, oh yeah, what do you do? Every time you say what you do, okay, you're an influencer, you're a YouTuber, you'll see the look on people's faces where like either they're jealous or they're impressed, but they're always talking about you. It really is like the best business model possible, the best way to make money in human history. And you are well and truly on your way. So focus on the bangers and then you can go and make your product. This course here to make the product unlocks in 30 days. So you're already like on the way to unlocking that bonus. But for now, just focus on this and then I'll see you on the calls on Sundays. Bye-bye. Okay, this is going to be exciting. We are going to make a banger YouTube video together. And I'm going to break down the process and also explain everything to you that you need to know to make the kind of YouTube video that actually deserves to get 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million views. So let's begin. The most important part of a banger YouTube video is basically just the idea. The idea means, what are we actually talking about? What's the topic? Not really the title. We'll talk about that in a second. But this is like the foundation of the video. What is the video about? So for example, the video for my niche is like self-improvement. Today's video could be about fitness and we can make it more specific. It could be about building a sexy body. That's not the title. It could be, but that's not the title. It's just, okay, that's the idea. The idea is building a sexy body. It's kind of been done before. It's not bad, but it's kind of been done before. It's not completely unique. It was unique 5 years ago when my video on this topic blew up, and that's probably why it blew up, because I was one of the first people on YouTube to actually talk about like building a sexy body that attracts girls, because that was like a little bit unspoken about back then. But basically, just think about, okay, what video do you want to talk about today? What topic do you want to talk about? This is the idea. So let's say in my mind, I really, really want to talk about, let's say I've got a book here, right? I really want to talk about what I've learned from this book. This book is called Essentialism by Greg McKeown, and it's about basically doing less. It's about not like living like how most people do with, they overwork and they take on every opportunity. They say yes to everything. It's about actually saying no about a lot of stuff. That'll be the general idea, and that's okay. So that's the first thing. Then you want to think, okay, well, how do I make it unique? How can I make it in a way that feels like anti-AI, like it's not going to be ChatGPT slop? And how can I find the sort of culture fit inside of here? So these are the three things we want to think about when we have the idea. So for you, your idea might be, for example, how to get a girlfriend. Okay, today I feel like teaching guys how to get a girlfriend. That's not very unique. It's not really anti-AI. ChatGPT can give you that right now. And it's kind of actually against the culture fit, because a lot of people are like not dating these days. So what we might do is transform that. How do we make get a girlfriend more unique? How do we make it anti-AI, not like ChatGPT 7 tips slop? And how do we make it culture fit? What comes to my mind straight away is, okay, when I think about these things, how would I make like the topic of getting a girlfriend fit with these three things of the idea? I might actually make it on the fact of Gen Z are not getting girlfriends. There was a statistic I read recently, which was like, I think it was like 50% of Gen Z guys think that going up and saying hello to a girl is actually sexual harassment. Now that's suddenly way more unique if I'm going to talk about this sort of specific data points. It's anti-AI because it's not just like how to get a girlfriend. Oh, number one, go up and speak to her and be a nice person. That's just basic sort of BuzzFeed advice that's just saturated on the internet. And three, it's very much a culture fit of what's happening right now. So just see how the idea is basically the same. The topic is on getting a girlfriend, but we've just slightly changed it from like a how-to video, which is kind of boring, to a discussion of the fact that so many guys literally think going up to a girl that you don't know is now sexual harassment, even if you're like, you've not done anything weird. And then imagine we can still give the same advice inside the video where we then relate this data, the statistic, 50% of guys think it's sexual harassment. We relate that statistic to the fact that young guys are not having girlfriends, and the rate of having a girlfriend these days is super, super low. And here's the advice you're going to give to get a girlfriend for these guys. Just see how that video suddenly goes from like, it may as well just be ChatGPT, how to get a girlfriend in 7 steps, to like a discussion of what's happening right now. And then also you'll give the girlfriend advice. So for example, for this book here, the book again is like Essentialism. I could make a video which is like how to achieve more in less time. But that's not very unique. ChatGPT could give us that advice. And also, it's kind of like, is it a culture fit? Like, maybe a little bit. How about, let me think. How do I make this more unique? I choose something quite specific to use it in. So maybe I'll do it for YouTube, right? That makes it more unique. Instead of it just being a general thing of achieving more with less, I'd make it more specific for YouTube. Like, I'm teaching YouTube. Or maybe for bodybuilding. Okay, cool. Then it's like anti-AI. So I wouldn't just do like a how to build muscle quickly, but it'd be more like, okay, anti-AI. Maybe maybe I would critique a famous person's workout routine, someone who's doing well right now. So that's the culture fit. So for example, I might critique Sam Sulek, or there might be like, I've not looked at the fitness niche for a while, but imagine there's like a really emerging fitness YouTuber. I might critique their workout routine, and the main message that I'd give is it's actually too much volume, and what we need to do is use essentialism and actually do less. So for example, there was a clip of this famous fitness influencer. His name's David Lade, and he's like one of those like aesthetic, kind of lean, but he's jacked, he's muscular, but he's kind of like very lean and almost like he's not big at all, but he's lean and sexy, right? And he trains with Chris Bumstead, who's like a very professional Olympic bodybuilder, massive, like huge bodybuilder, right? And there's this scene that went viral where the fitness influencer, David, he hits a set and he kind of like just hits it. Okay, sweet. And when he gets up, the big bodybuilder looks at him and he says like, oh, what happened? And he goes, what? And the bodybuilder says like, well, was the weight too light? Do you want to hit it again? And the influencer guy goes like, no, it's fine. So the bodybuilder's looking at him like, but why didn't you push hard? And the influencer guy says, well, because, we've got so many more sets to do. And basically, the influencer, David Lade, he's saying he's not going to push hard and work intensively because of the amount of volume that they're doing. So that's like it's like a clip that went viral recently, right? So I could react to that and say, look, he's actually right. And maybe this is the reason why David Lade has stayed the same size for like 10 years, because he's not training hard enough, because he's leaving so much gas in the tank because of the fact that his workout routine is too bloated. What he needs to do, or what, whoever we're talking about needs to do, is reduce their training volume with the concept of essentialism, which is, okay, do less and we can achieve more. And when you do less training volume, less number of sets, less number of exercises, you can train way harder, which is actually the number one sort of lever of growth. Just see how I could have made a video which is like, oh, Essentialism by Greg McKeown, how to use this book. It's a bit boring. It's a bit of an old book. I could have made a general video which is like how to achieve more with less time. Okay, it's a bit boring. But when I make one which is like criticizing a bodybuilder's workout routine and then basically prescribing this book and saying, okay, the method is he's actually doing too much and he needs to dial it down so that he can do the smaller volume better. Suddenly that's gotten way more unique. It's way like less sort of AI slop, because AI, if you ask ChatGPT about this book, it's not going to give you the example of this bodybuilder or whatever. And it's also more of a culture fit, because anyone who's into the bodybuilding niche maybe have seen that video, and it's about like this young influencer who's like 24 years old or something. So this is just the start. Is think about what you want to talk about, and then ask yourself, how can you make it more unique or specific? How can you make it so that it doesn't feel like it's like ChatGPT generated? It's not like the sort of normal view of the video. So if you're going to make a video which is like how to be more confident, and you're just going to talk about like, body language and go to the gym, ChatGPT is going to tell us that right away. Like if we went on ChatGPT right now and said, okay, how can I be more confident? I guarantee he'll say like, oh yeah, like, go to the gym and mindset, make sure, understand people aren't really judging you. It's boring as fuck. But if we make a video which is on the topic of confidence, but for example, it feels more unique, which is maybe it's like a story of you, and you recently went to like a high school reunion where you were way more confident because you're more attractive. Suddenly that's become way more unique in AI because you've made it super personal and it's very specific. And it's more of a culture fit because, you're appealing to young guys who are also going to like their high school prom, whatever. And you've just changed the video, which was going to be how to be confident, to maybe a video that is so human. And it's about your real experience of this day. You had this high school reunion and you were so much more confident, and the girl from high school that you had a crush on now was looking at you in that kind of way. Suddenly the video is like so much more enjoyable to watch, rather than it being like a basic how to be confident video, which now like, you just none of us want to click on a video like that anymore, unless if the person who's made it is like already super, super, super credible and, we love that person. But especially as like a small creator, making a bit of a general video like how to be confident, it's like no one wants to click on it because we don't really trust that you're going to give us good advice. But instead of making how to be confident, you make a video, I went to my high school reunion and things were different. And then you tell us the story that, you used to be a little loser, but now you're confident, you made so much progress, and the experience was so good. And the reason, you became confident through going to the gym and stuff, and that's the advice you have for us. It's relatively the same video with the same kind of advice, but it's packaged in a way which makes it so unique, anti-AI. It's a culture fit. It's about something that's happened recently that people are thinking about, and the video becomes like 10 times more interesting. So whatever video idea you're thinking about right now, like whatever video you want to make, think about what twist you can have on it to make it more unique, anti-AI, and culture fit. This is like the foundation of the video. What topic we're going to make the video on, and just how can you sort of position the topic to be just that much more interesting. It might be that you'll, for example, instead of it being a how-to video, it might be more of a story-based video. It might be more of a react-based video. It might be you discussing something that's happening in the world right now. Next is the title and thumbnail. And this is honestly like 95% of making a banger YouTube video. Like it's actually
laughable just how little the inside of a video, like the actual video, matters to perform on YouTube, honestly. Like, it's laughable at how little the inside of the video, the actual video, matters. Most of what matters is literally the title and thumbnail. If you nail the title and thumbnail and the video inside is like, you know, you haven't followed any rules, it's not even scripted that well, you've made a mistake talking and you left it in, and there's a section where, you know, some noise happens outside. Honestly, all of that is forgivable when you have a decent title and thumbnail, really. So this is like the law of like exponential gains. It is 100 times more valuable for you to just focus on making a title and thumbnail that's a banger rather than you focusing on what's actually inside the video. What I find actually for my most enjoyable and also best parts of sort of growing on YouTube is where I completely focus on the title and thumbnail as my sort of work grind to get like a banger combination of title and thumbnail. And then once I've got that, inside of the video, I kind of go a bit more free flow, and I'm not so like hardcore on like sort of scripting the video and, you know, like being almost like obsessive over, oh man, there was that one little bit which I fucked up, whatever. A lot of that is like, it's more like nitpicking, which still can be valuable. There's still a bit of gains to be made by improving the inside of your video, but most of your video success is literally just going to be based on the title and thumbnail, really. So just bear this in mind, and this is where most of our work should go, is basically we should get the idea of what we want to talk about, and then we just package it up in a way which is really good for the title thumbnail combination. Now I'm going to give you a sort of pointer here. Please, for the love of God, remember this, because I swear to God, like I've heard it for years and I kind of overlooked it. I wouldn't say this if it's not important. So write this out, get a pen and a piece of paper, like write out what I'm about to say, save this, screen record what I'm saying, because just trust me, if you just remember this, I swear to God, it's going to make a big difference, okay? I wouldn't hype this up for no reason. I promise you this is so true. All of the biggest and best YouTubers make their title and thumbnail first. All of the mediocre, non-existent YouTubers kind of make their title first, then they record their video, and then they make their thumbnail afterwards. Just think about what I'm saying. The best YouTubers literally make the title and the thumbnail, and then they go and script the video and record the video after it's done. Like imagine they have like a document where they've literally got the title and thumbnail first, and then they go and make the video, like the script and the recording afterwards. That is completely the opposite of what most YouTubers do, which most YouTubers maybe have like the title, then they go and script it, record it, and then they put a thumbnail afterwards. And I'm telling you, that's such a big difference. So if there's one thing you get from this entire module, let it be this. This is what you're going to start to do, so you can follow along with me first. What we're going to do is, let's say we have like a little document or something here, right? And this is like my scripting page, boom. We're going to think of the idea that we want to talk about. So for this one, we might say it's about... I don't know, like becoming attractive, like this. What we're going to do is to think of what the title can be, what the thumbnail can be, and then after that, we'll start to script the things that we're going to talk about, right? But we're not going to touch the script until we have like a banger combination, banger alert. We might even add this as like a section inside of ECC so you can post and let's see if it's like a banger alert. When we need a title and a thumbnail that is like perfect together, then we'll start working on the video, not before. If we don't have like a banger alert when we've kind of put a title and thumbnail next to each other, we don't even make the video. It's not even worth it. I promise you, like it is literally just luck if you get any decent views when you make a video, when you kind of have the title, you record it, and then you make the thumbnail after. That's like so amateurish. That's kind of like the equivalent of like, you know, the guys who have never done any kind of research or learning, they go to the gym and their form is shit and they don't even understand like the basics of like lifting weight or protein or whatever. It's kind of like that, where it's like you're just doing things backwards. A bit of learning at the start of your bodybuilding journey will make you way more muscle because you know things about muscle protein synthesis, eating carbs before and after your training. It's similar to this, where it's like, it's so impactful. So please just listen to this, right? So the big tip here is we're going to open up a new page. You can do this alongside me. We're going to think of like roughly what we want to speak about. That's basically what I mean by the idea, is what we feel like speaking about. Becoming attractive, for example, you know, I'm thinking today about like the importance of like becoming attractive. I felt like a fucking Chad in the gym today, and like the hottest girl in the gym is mine. And another like fucking beautiful girl in the gym came up to me and she was like, "Oh yeah, well I already follow you and stuff." And then I left the gym to go meet a girl, like another girl who's like a 10 out of 10. And on the way to go meet her, there was another hot girl from my gym, kind of like driving towards the gym thing. And the way she looked at me was like she was attractive. And as I was driving, I was thinking to myself, like, fuck me, like, I've gotten to like the most attractive version of myself. It's like such an interesting experience. That's what I feel like talking about today. So that's what I meant by the idea. Now what we'll do is we want to find like a title that can perform. So I'll give you a tip. As of, you see the date, the January the 2026. What I'm finding is anti-AI and also anti-titles seems to be the best. So for example, if I want to do a video on becoming attractive, how to become attractive, this video is now a bit mid. It's honestly mid, right? Because ChatGPT will tell us, and why do we need a YouTuber to tell us this when we can send a picture of ourselves to ChatGPT and it will actually give us more personalized advice, right? So this video now, this title is like pretty mid. If this title with a picture of me looking good, we'll say that's like a 5 out of 10, right? Imagine this title with a picture of me and, you know, I'm like shirtless or I look handsome. That's like a 5 out of 10 combination, right? That's not a banger at all. So then we think, okay, what I mean by anti-titles is titles that almost like look like texts rather than titles. So imagine this. This is an interesting way to put it. Imagine as titles, there's a spectrum. The spectrum goes email subject line to your boss. That's on one side. Oh. Bitch. Okay, imagine like email subject, like there's a spectrum, right? And email subject line to your boss. So that's what, you know, like, I don't know, we have an issue. You know how you would send an issue, like a email to your boss, right? And on the far other side is text to your racist friend. This is the spectrum of YouTube titles. Most YouTube titles that are live on YouTube are more like email subject lines to your boss. They're capitalized every word, and they're very professional. Like it's like very PC. Then there's some titles which are like kind of abrasive and weird. Like for example, I have a video which has got 1 million views, and it's how to grow your pee-pee. Like that's literally the type that already is like, you know, it's closer on this side of like, it's way, by this I mean it's like casual as fuck. It's like a text message almost. This, what I'm finding is the more AI is coming in to just create slop on the internet, the less that this email subject line, like basically what I mean is like professional titles, kind of like this one, or kind of like, you know, like top 5 tips to grow on YouTube. Another way we can explain these professional titles is like professional titles. It's almost like BuzzFeed article title, right? This is like the far end of this side of the sort of spectrum. You don't want to be on this side of the spectrum because your titles just look mid and sort of pre ChatGPT, basically, like this shit here. These type of titles now, they can still work. They do work for some people, but I am finding that they are going quickly out of date. So the type of title structure that as of right now I'm seeing is working quite well is specifically this. The capitalization is on the first word and then none after that. So it's, for example, it might look like let me write one, which is like, I changed my life and like this. This is the type of title. Imagine it's the grammar, the spelling, the capitalization is all like this. This is the type of title that's actually performing. This doesn't mean you should just go and copy this title, but I'm saying that the wording of it, the fact that the first letter is capitalized and the other letters aren't, this is the type of one that's doing well these days, is what I'm seeing. Is it's closer to the more sort of really unprofessional, almost like it's a text. So when you think of the title, imagine the title is like a text that you're sending to your friend. The first letter is capitalized as it is on a text, but after that, it's not. And it's almost like broken English sometimes, right? So that's one thing with the title. And then what we need is the type of title that actually combines well with the thumbnail. So let me give you some examples of things that I've made recently. So if I remove this, this is a video I just recorded today. I became a Pakistani Chad. Now, the title could have been How to Become More Attractive. But again, that's like 20 22, you know, it's like old school YouTube before ChatGPT. Now, like that title's kind of boring, whatever. So I became a Pakistani Chad I thought was actually pretty intelligent, because I became a Chad would have been pretty good. And this is the thumbnail here. The thumbnail will be slightly edited. I'm just going to blur my friend's face, and I'm going to have an arrow from my head and say me there, even though that's like kind of irrelevant. I just think that'll help it perform. I became a Chad is going to be nice, but I became a Pakistani Chad suddenly makes this video like a bit more polarizing, because then guys who are from Pakistan will click it, brown guys will click it, Indians will click it, and some like Indians and Pakistans have like some weird rivalry. So some Indian guys will hate on me. Some guys will see the word Chad and be like, no, you're not a Chad. Like, you're not attractive. You know, you're not even attractive. Like, you know, just it's polarizing, but it's almost like it's a text. You know what I mean? It's like I could send this as a text message to my friend. I became a Pakistani Chad. I could send this to my brother, for example, and he wouldn't think it's like weird. I could even have like this not capitalized, so it makes it look like wrong almost, you know? Just that little bit of like anti-title tactics makes the video these days, in the age of ChatGPT slop, so much more unique. So that's how the title game is these days, and I'll show you a few more of the ideas I've got. I locked in for a year and nothing's changed, and it wasn't adding, but hang on. This is the thumbnail. So imagine this is the thumbnail, and imagine that's the title. Right, I think that would fucking do really. Imagine you saw this. I locked it in for a year and nothing's changed. It looks like I'm some fucking 9-to-5 worker, and I'm like gonna be talking about, you know, oh yeah, guys, life is hard. I'm gonna play a clip of like, this is from me from a few years ago. So I'll play a clip of this sort of video here, and then I'll talk about like, oh yeah, for a whole year around this point, I was locked in, I was saying no to everything, and you know, basically my life was like the same. I just was grinding, and it was only a few years after that it really started to pay off. And you know, the idea of this is that it takes a while for you to be in that sort of the payoff of grinding, basically. So just see how this, I locked in for a year, nothing's changed. This could be a text message, right? This could literally be a text message. This isn't like an email subject line. This isn't like a professional title. This is almost like, it could very well be a text message to our best friend. Let me show you another example. No sugar, no porn, 10 hours sleep. Why? Because I need every advantage I can get against my competition. I think this one will do well. I'm not sure what the title is here, so this is why I've not like made any more progress on this. Like I said, you want the title first, then you want a thumbnail that really fits, and then you start to work on the video more. Let's go over some more. I remember the exact moment I got into the top 20% of men. I might have a thumbnail similar to the first one I showed you, where, you know, it's just like a picture of me. Maybe it's got a bit of editing with like a arrow or something. Let's go to this one. This was an interesting one. Why did Homo sapiens fall off 10,000 years ago? I was reading the book Sapiens, which talks about human history. And there's evidence to prove that humans were developing really, really well, like extremely quickly in height and in intelligence and brain size about like, you know, hundreds of thousands of years ago, up until 10,000 years ago when it all plateaued. And it's because of the rise of basically eating vegetables, which is fucking really, really interesting. We should be taller and stronger than we actually are, but because of the agriculture, farming basically fucked us up. That was like a nerf for us, and we should have stayed as like carnivores, just eating a fuck ton of meat. And I'm not sure about the thumbnail, but like the title's pretty cool. Imagine it, like I'm thinking of the thumbnail, it will be me holding a mic as if I'm, you know, doing a social commentary, and some kind of pictures behind me of like a sort of caveman who's tall and height, projected height 7'3". Average height 5'9", something like that, where basically you can see that I'm doing like a social commentary, and I'm going to be showing sort of graphs and data of why humans were doing so well 10,000 years ago, but why we started getting worse than that. I can't believe my diet was this bad. I need a good thumbnail for this. Let's understand women, and I'm going like that's. Imagine this is going to be the title, and the thumbnail is going to be there's going to be a whiteboard behind me, like covered in notes. Like it's going to look like, you know, some obsessive psychopathic breakdown, and it's going to be kind of funny because let's understand women is like a bit of a mid title, but if it looks like a complex, like big whiteboard with so many different drawings and everything, it's gonna like that'll make it look funny of the idea of like, oh, okay, you've got to, you know, put in so much work to understand women. Just see how what the big lesson here that I'm giving you is. It is the combination of a title and thumbnail that makes a video a banger. And before you have a good combination, don't even work on the video, because if you can't find a good combination of title and thumbnail, you it's like there's no point even making the video unless if, it's a very purposeful video, you're not really making it to be a banger. But that's like, the point of this course you're watching is because you want a YouTube video that performs. Maybe you want 5,000 views, or you want 50,000 views, or 500,000 views. And so the big thing is we write down the title, match it with a thumbnail that we think is going to make it do good, and then we can make the video after that. So title and thumbnail is 95%. And what you can do if you want more help is you can go to the community tab and actually just post it here with the roast my content and ask people, okay, what do you think about the sort of title and thumbnail combination? Is it a banger or not? And you could give us like 2 variants or something. You could tell us the title of the video and what the thumbnail is. And like what we don't want is a bit of a mid combination, right? So like how to become attractive, and it's like a picture of you looking good. That's like a mid combination, right? That's not like a banger at all. More of like a unique title, the type of title that you don't see, which is so abrasive and silly. Like for example, there's this video that got crazy good. History of the world. Look at the title for this one. History of the world, I guess. Like that's just like, look at this, like that title is so silly, right? It's so like not professional. 181 million views. History of the entire world, I guess. And the thumbnail is just like, the thumbnail is like silly. It's like, it's such a silly video, but that's why it became a banger, right? If we go for, let's have a look at some of my videos and we can break some of them down. Let's see the ones that did really well. How to build an aesthetic body, no bullshit guide. Now, these days, this type of title is so common, it's almost like ChatGPT slop. But 6 years ago, no one was talking about building like an aesthetic, like sexy body. Like inside of this video, I literally talk about the fact that like building muscle attracts girls. But 6 years ago, I swear to God, like most people were not talking about that because there was like this gay narrative of like, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to the gym to attract girls. Look at this. Society failed men. It's like some guy you can kind of see he's like being interviewed or he's on a talk show, and big text, audience laughs. Do you see that? Now that's that's like a banger combination. Society failed men, and then you see something that says audience laughs, and this guy looks kind of like sad. That's a really good combination. It's not like how society treats men differently than women, and it's just a picture of me, or it's something else, and it's like a picture of like a man from a movie or something. This combination really worked well. This as well. The perfect diets for muscle growth, fat loss, and health. And it's the thumbnail says just eat this with like and you look at it, it's like, okay, potatoes, I don't know what the fuck is that, like oats or something, okay, blueberries and like some rice or some shit. That's a banger combination as well. How to actually win a street fight, and instead of it being my face, or instead of it being like a sort of a staged picture, it's just a real picture of my hand after I knocked this guy out in a nightclub, or outside of a nightclub. So the idea behind it, here's another one as well. How to destroy your lizard brain, and it's like a thumbnail of me holding the hammer. This one has gotten quite a lot of people for the last few years telling me like, they really like this. When you get a combination of a good title and a thumbnail together, and it feels like it's a banger combination, that's honestly like 90%, 95% of the work of you getting a video that will perform well, honestly. And then this is beautiful because it means that inside of the video, you can structure it how you like. You can go a bit more improv with less scripts if you want, a bit less editing style. What I've noticed is it really doesn't matter what's kind of inside of the video. What matters is just the title and the thumbnail. Like I was scrolling down my channel before, and I was looking at a lot of like sort of videos. I was trying to analyze them and everything, and I thought this was really interesting because here I had a series of videos that performed really well. 460k views, 600k views, 300k views, 480k views, 300k views. Okay, that's pretty cool. But it's interesting that just before that, I got 34k views. 10, 15, 17 times less than the average here. So like these videos are only like a few days apart. So it's not like my sort of audience changed or anything like that. It's just that the idea of the video, so the idea of this one is basically this guy, he's going to tell us the best time to monetize your audience. When you really think about it, that idea is pretty weak compared to, oh yeah, NoFap and the competitive advantage that not jacking off gets you. That's quite an interesting idea to talk to young guys, telling them not masturbating will make you like a stronger, more competitive guy. The idea of like, okay, this specific creator is going to tell us when to monetize our audience, like that idea is pretty fucking weak in terms of making a banger, right? The same as like, this one's a bit better because, okay, there's this attractive fitness influencer and the idea is he's going to tell us what order to focus on in terms of business, fitness, dating. That's a better idea. That's like something. So this one got like almost triple the views of this one. But the idea is like we're looking around for an idea and a thumbnail that matches together. So for example, a lot of these have got, 200K, but I remember one of them, this one here has got 900K. Unlock the power of your deep voice, how to sound more confident and captivating. And the thumbnail is like a sort of edited one, which says, okay, deep voice on. It's as if it's like a switch that you can work on. So I saw that, and then I saw one more thing here. Look at some of the view counts here. We've got like 300K, 1 million, 300K. And I remember seeing these this morning where they're basically just a call recording of like, me talking, right? And the view count's pretty low for these ones, like 80K, 70K, 90K. But it's just next to videos that got 1 million, 600K, 400K, 1 million, 1 million. What's interesting is my channel's doing really well. People clearly like me if I'm getting 1 million views, 1 million views. But then right next to that, I get a video which has got 10 times less because the idea, the title, the thumbnail, is a little bit weak when you see this one. Okay, the idea, kids in my class make fun of me for being on self-improvement. The idea is like I'm speaking to a kid who's getting bullied for being on self-improvement. This kid ended up making a hate video about me. He's a fucking asshole. But the title and the thumbnail is like, the thumbnail's not bad, the title's not bad, but it's not a banger. It's like a 3 out of 10 combination. It's pretty standard. My girlfriend wants to get married. That's not like a banger. You know what I mean? That's like okay, we're going to talk about something, whatever. If you go to, let's say, this one, look at this. What age should you start dating women? It's a 50-minute video of like a guy in his bedroom, and it looks like I've got like a light bulb moment of like, I'm going to start to explain something deep to you. That title is very interesting, and with a thumbnail which is like so human, it seems like, wow, this guy's really about to explain something that's like really cool to us, right? So your homework now is to think of the idea that you want to talk about. Okay, so you feel like talking about, like testosterone today. And you're just going to change the positioning of the video so that it's not just a basic sort of how-to, which these days is getting kind of outdated because of ChatGPT, but you're going to change it slightly where it's a bit more unique and specific. It's like an anti-AI. It's a bit of a culture fit. But by this, I mean it's almost like a trend that we're talking about today. So, for example, what comes to mind is like, there's probably like some famous guys who have gotten their testosterone checked recently. I remember, this is a bit old, but I remember there's like these YouTubers called the Try Guys, and they look like little soy boys. Try Guys, testosterone. And the Try Guys, whatever, it's like, it's a YouTube group, whatever, and they go and get their testosterone checked, and it's the levels of like 85-year-old men. Basically, they've got like 100, 200 nanograms, whatever. This is years old, so, like I'm talking about as if I was making this video years ago. But I would, instead of it just being a how to increase testosterone, it's a bit of a basic video, I'd mention something like this. Maybe not this specific thing, but there'll be like another case of like some famous guy's just got his testosterone checked, and I would be breaking that down in my video and leveraging his name, if he's way bigger than me, and talking about my sort of opinions, my analysis of his testosterone results. Suddenly, instead of it being a sort of sloppy how to increase testosterone general video, which ChatGPT can just do better, it becomes a very unique video, which is very timely, and people are looking for it right now because something's just happened. You don't always have to hop on trends. It can still be like a bit of an evergreen video. But just seeing if you can mix your video with something that makes it more unique really adds to it. Then working on the title, making the title more like an anti-title rather than it being more of a sort of professional email subject line look. It's more like a text message. And the thumbnail is still something that is like so varied. So what I would say is with the thumbnail, don't force yourself to stick to a certain style and just sort of relax on that. Make each thumbnail just specifically combine really well with the title itself. So what I mean by this is if you've already been posting a bit frequently, you might have like a thumbnail style that you've been working on so far. And I think these days, sticking to like a sort of style with your thumbnail is not the best way. And instead, you should basically make the thumbnail that fits really well with the title. You should be seeing your YouTube videos in basically just titles and thumbnails. And when you have like a banger combination, then you go and make the video, right? So for example, if I know a good title is like I became a Pakistani Chad, I know that this is going to be polarizing. There's going to be guys who will comment saying I'm not a Chad. There's going to be guys who are commenting about Pakistan. Maybe they're in pro support, maybe they're against, whatever. And then with a good picture, like I feel like this one, but with my friend's faces blurred out, and then this just saying like an arrow that says me over there, I think that suddenly becomes like a good combination, which is like, oh, okay, this guy actually looks like a handsome Pakistani guy. You know, the thumbnail will be zoomed in a little bit. And it'll be intriguing to see what I'm going to say in this, you know, and then I think my six pack will get quite a lot of attention and comments as well. So that's like the biggest part of making a banger. Now, in terms of inside of the video, like I said, it's actually laughable just how little it actually matters. But there's one thing that I've seen time and time again from YouTubers who make lots and lots of bangers, which is basically to match the intro to the title and the thumbnail. So when you make your title and thumbnail, which the big lesson from this is you actually make the title and thumbnail first before you even start to work on the video at all. You make that combination, and then when you start to sort of get the idea of what you're going to talk about in your video, and you know you're going to start to script it, whatever. What we want is within the first, like literally the first words you say in the video from the timestamp 0000, you want to almost repeat the title again. You want to match the title and the intro, to the title and thumbnail. So, for example, if the title and thumbnail is "I became a Pakistani Chad," something in the first like one sentence should be something to do with like becoming a Chad or becoming attractive. Like the first sentence, preferably talks about becoming attractive or like being brown, which in this video it does. The first sentence is, I wanted to be attractive as a teenager, but I didn't lift weights, whatever. Boom. So let me give you another one. Let's say this one here, no sugar, no porn, 10 hours sleep. Why? Because I need every advantage I can get against my competition. Okay, that's a pretty good title. Once I get a good thumbnail, then I can really think about, okay, if this video is worth making. Let's say I've got a really good thumbnail already. Right now, I can't think of one. That's why I'm not working on it. I'm just going to like wait until I can get a good thumbnail for it. Then let's say I've got a thumbnail and it's like, what comes to mind is like, it's me looking at like a plate with like sugar being poured onto it or something like that. I don't know. I'll think more of a thumbnail. Once I've got one, I'll start the video almost like repeating this. I might say it exactly as it is, or I might say I've not had sugar for 10 days. I've not watched porn for 1 year. I've had 10 hours sleep every night for the last year and a half. I'm almost repeating the title. That seems to be like a really good tactic that big YouTubers are making for the inside of the video. They're just matching the first sort of sentence they say to the title or to the thumbnail. So for example, if your thumbnail is like, like I put 500 guys inside of a circle and the last one to leave wins $500,000. It's like a Mr. Beast video. We want to see the circle with all the people to begin with, right? It's like you want to see it right away. Like for example, if you're making a video about boxing and in the thumbnail is like you're sparring someone and the title is to with like, I accidentally got knocked out in sparring, lol. That's a pretty good title, and with a good sort of a thumbnail, it could work. Then the start of your video should literally show us that clip right away. You know, maybe it's like one of those where it's almost like a preview and we see the punch coming and it's in slow-mo and you've made it look silly. But we basically see the title or the thumbnail or both right away to begin with, because it kind of calms people down. When they click on your video, they know, okay, that's what they clicked on to watch. Okay, it's inside of this video. Does that make sense? So we want to just make sure that the start of our video talks about or shows the same as the title or thumbnail. And then after that, honestly, you are so free to have like whatever you want, whatever structure you like for the rest of the video. You can script more points if you really want to write down like a lot of points. You can go a bit more free flow. You can write down like word for word. I've got friends who do that. Then I've got friends who basically don't script anything. Then I've got friends who script like kind of like a few points here and there. I usually go like I write down a few points. Like I'll show you some of my script. It's all free flow, right? For example, for this video here, it's more of a story. So I wrote like way more. You can see, look how big this is, right? So this is way more. And I'm not saying it really word for word. I'm kind of like roughly reading it, and then I've just like kind of said it in like a sort of segment, looking at the camera. Let's see. I don't think I've got actually, you don't see the results of hard work. And you'll see what this one looks like. This one, the script is like this. So the script isn't detailed at all. The script is basically what point I'm going to make. Then I'm going to have like a little sort of bit of text to remind me of like the story I'm going to tell, and also a little bit of text on how, like, for example, it might be like the backpack story. Like that. This is enough for me to know which story I'm talking about. It's not a real story, but it's enough for me to know which story I'm talking about, and I can tell this story for like 2-3 minutes, just recollecting it from memory. And how to use this bit of advice. Some men get positive feedback loop from young age. I'd say, like, I don't know, pretend. So I'm basically just saying, like, fake it till you make it. Boom. This will be like one segment of this video. This is usually how I script the most. And then it's okay. The next point I'm going to make is that patience time will pass anyway. So I'll tell a story. I'll say, my friend A, when he said, not gonna start gym, and I'll say, oh yeah, my friend, like, I won't say his name, but my friend A, I said to him I was gonna start the gym, and then he said he would, but then he said no, it's gonna take too long, and I thought it was so retarded because time was gonna pass by anyway, so you may as well just like secure the gains, but he didn't. And then we met up about 7 years later. I was jacked, he still had like a skinny fat, like such a low testosterone modern day man's physique. And I tell that story like this, and then how to use it, what I'll say is like, I don't know, like set, dream, timetable. And then I'll explain, okay, so to use this advice, what you're going to do is make your timetable, do it like this, boom, boom, like this. So I'm not writing much for the inside of the video. And this is so personal. Like, I usually script like this, but then some videos I've scripted like this is way more detail, right? Because I'm like, I really wanted to get like the sort of each point of the story across. So for you, it doesn't matter what's inside the video. Honestly, I know that sounds crazy, but like, whether you scripted it, whether you rant, whether you laugh, whether you joke, whether there's a story or just advice, or there's ranting, or there's, it's like a bit of a vlog, or you're moving around. Honestly, like, everything goes viral. That's the thing. And so I don't want to sort of force you to make videos a certain kind of way, because the truth is every type of video goes viral. Ones where you just sit there, you press record, like a sit down and talk video. Ones where you vlog, ones where you're reacting to stuff. Every type of video goes viral. So inside of the video, I wouldn't stress so much about like what's the rules or whatever. Inside of the video, you just do what you think would make that video the best, most, sort of impactful for your avatar, right? The type of person you're trying to help. Just make the best video you can for them inside of the video. But outside of the video, in the packaging, that's where it's like, that's the real game of making a banger, right? So the big lesson that I'm giving you here is, inside the video, you are free to just do what you want, what you think is best to sort of deliver on whatever you're talking about. But the packaging, the idea of the video, making it unique and making it sort of anti-AI, non-ChatGPT slop, and then also just getting a really good title and thumbnail banger combination. That's that's the biggest part of the game of getting views on YouTube. And then the slight tip I'll give you for the inside of the video, just match the intro to the title and thumbnail. After that, honestly, if you want to like show it as a bit of a vlog, or if it's just sit down and talking, or if there's like clips of you training, or there's not clips of you training, honestly, everything works. And more, when you come onto the calls in the calendar into my content review, I can watch it and tell you what could have made the video better. But honestly, like, you're so free inside of the video to do whatever you kind of feel like, because every type of video goes viral when they have the right title and thumbnail combination. So if there's just one thing that you focus on from this entire thing, get a banger title and thumbnail combination, and that is literally like 95% of the game. So post in the community post the title you're working on. Let's see, with your thumbnail ideas, let's see like, what thumbnails you've made. Don't even work on the video till you're really thinking like, holy shit, this is going to be a good video. That's it. You focus on this. This is like the 80-20 rule, but honestly, it's more like 95-5. This is like the single important thing with making a YouTube video, the title and thumbnail, which is, of course, it's like the foundation of it is the idea. And then after that, honestly, it's so minor. So just focus on this. Get some advice from the community. Get people to vote if it's like a banger or not. And when you get the banger combination, make it, put your heart into the inside, however you feel like it just needs to be. Let your own sort of creative uniqueness shine here. Don't just like copy the sort of popular titles, because that used to be something that worked like really well back in the day, but honestly, it doesn't anymore. These days, what's really working on YouTube is like this really sort of like human, unique style content. So go ahead, follow this advice, post about it in the community, and let's see everyone make some bangers, because that's so exciting when you post a video and it's just like fucking really doing well. Let's go. So boys, so I've got 3 banger alerts from this morning's deep work block. So number 1, I logged in for a year and nothing's changed, and then the thumbnail will be this random screenshot from a video from like years ago. And I think just imagine this title underneath this thumbnail, and you know, people will see it and be like, oh, like the guy's talking about he's been working hard, but probably in like a 9 to 5 because he's got a tie on. Let's see what he's talking about. And so I think this is like a banger combination of title thumbnail. And then the only other thing is that the intro needs to match the thumbnail. Otherwise, you know, if it just starts with me or Jeffrey Adonis, it'll be kind of confusing. So that's what I've wrote here. At 000, like the first 0 second of the video, I'll actually play a bit of this video where maybe it's like me looking sad, or you know, I say something which is maybe to do with like working hard and you know, right now I'm sad or whatever, and then we'll turn it into like maybe a bit of a montage where then it gets up to like where I got up to now, and then I'll give the advice that I'm going to give in this video. So you can see that I focus on the title, the thumbnail, matching the intro, and then this is like ready to work on it, and I can move this here from banger alert to script template. This is how I've organized my YouTube things. I have title and thumbnail as a section here. So these are like just random ideas that I'm getting, and they'll stay here until there's like a banger combination. Then I have banger alert, where then that's when I've added a good thumbnail to it. So now it's like, okay, this video could be like 1 of 10, 100K, 500K, 1 million views. And then when the combination is good with the intro thing, then I can move it over to actually scripting. So this is the first one I thought of this morning, which I'm happy with. Then this one's very interesting because this will be a different style. This is just like a template for the thumbnail. It'll be similar to this, but we'll make it look nicer. Why did Homo sapiens fall off? Because I'm reading a book about sapiens, and that we were actually taller and had bigger brains 10,000 years ago, which means that we literally fell off and something bad happened 10,000 years ago. Some of the guys who were watching this, do you know what it was? It was actually farming and eating more vegetables, which is very interesting because you'd assume that was a good thing, but it wasn't. So imagine this, and like the picture of me will be me in a thumbnail, but holding like a microphone with like, you know, stuff behind me. So it looks like I'm almost giving like a goofy presentation with like pictures kind of like this. And so title, thumbnail, I think it's awesome. And then the intro will be me just kind of like maybe straight away talking about the sort of graph that I've got here, which starts to show a deterioration in humans' brain size. Nice. So then this one can go over to scripting now as well. And then the final one, it feels like I'm shadow banned IRL. I'm happy with this one as well, and this might be a variant I'll use. It feels like I'm shadow banned IRL, girls don't even look at me, and it's like these screenshots of like, you know, it looks like a normal guy's recording it, and again, it's the most important thing once I've got this banger combination, which I really think it is. Like, it feels like I'm shadow banned IRL. If you imagine that title underneath this thumbnail on YouTube, could have like 1 million views, you know, like videos like this where like someone's talking about something that's happening like right now, the cultural narrative that most guys are like, you know, not doing so well with dating. I actually really think that could get like 1 million views, and it just needs to match the thumbnail. So when I start the video again, I will have it play from this old video of mine where I'm like, this is the title. So, you know, I'll play like some seconds of it, whatever. Then maybe it'll be like a bit of a montage, or it'll be some other clips of me around this point where I look kind of similar. So it might be like 5 seconds of me talking here, 5 seconds in like a clip where it's like a vertical camera, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, guys, I really feel lonely. This is like years ago. And then I'll find a way to make it kind of like, you know, whiz up, like sort of montage closer to where I am now, and then I'll talk about whatever the video is actually going to be about. So this is the better way to make your YouTube videos. Spend time on the title thumbnail combination to the point that you've got like a banger and you can really feel like, wow, this deserves like 500K views, 1 million views. Then you can script the video and actually work on it. So this morning, for the last hour, I've just put together these videos, and I've not even actually like scripted them or recorded them or anything. I've just got these 3 video ideas, which I'm happy with. And then now, maybe tomorrow, for example, I'll start to script it fully. I'll start to then record it and everything. So this is how you make more of a banger as a YouTube video. You don't just go and like get the title and script it, record it, and then just quickly make like a shitty thumbnail afterwards. You wait till there's a title thumbnail combination that is like a banger, then and only then you work on it. So this is me just practicing what I preach. I'm happy with these 3 ideas and I'll get to work on them tomorrow. So I hope this gives you like a bit of an idea of like how I do things as a YouTuber. Mwah! Hello, let's talk about what actually works for shorts in 2026. So look, back in the day, like a few years ago, it used to be that you could basically spam on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. You could post like 3, 5, 10 times a day. But now, shorts are actually very, very similar to longs in the sense that you want to post less quantity, less volume, and higher quality. More like 1 short per week makes sense. More is not better. If you look at Ashton Hall, he's like someone who's blown up like crazy recently. He's posting less than weekly shorts and he's got 18 million followers. What doesn't work, in my opinion, is the low effort clipped up content, which is kind of like, remember the Andrew Tate strategy, which was like, maybe you can go on podcasts or you've got like long form videos like many of us do on YouTube. And then you'll clip it up, you'll get like an editor to give you like 3 or 5 or 10 clips from that video. And then you post it onto TikTok, whatever. And there's a chance that those clips can go viral. But that's just like really, really like shitty low tier content. You know, like a clipped up video from a long form video, like a clipped up short from a YouTube video. That's like such low tier content now because now there's so many people who are making like really high effort, high quality videos from scratch. Like they're not even clipping it up from like the long form. That like low effort strategy is gone now, and you can still maybe get a clip that does well, but it's more like luck than it is anything else. So if you do want to do that, you can consider like alt pages, you know, like a separate page. It's not your main page on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. But even then, it's a pretty shitty tactic, and all of my influencer friends have actually stopped that now. In the future, you can just go pay for ads if you want the traffic. Basically, the reason why you'd go and like mass post 10, 20 clips per day onto TikTok is because you just want some traffic, like you want some views to send to like your sales page or whatever. And we can just pay for ads in the future, which we can talk about. But for now, I just wouldn't be considering like the tactics that used to work a few years ago. One other thing, make sure you're focusing on me, by the way, you're not just like reading ahead. One other thing is that the short form viewers do not convert to long form viewers. If you see yourself mostly as a YouTuber, which is what I personally see myself as, shorts can get kind of complicated because a lot of people will then treat their shorts like it's just like a funnel to their YouTube channel because you think, yeah, fuck it, you know, I'll post some like low effort stuff. And if I get some more views onto YouTube, then it's okay. Like, you know, I'll maybe get some videos that blow up on Instagram, TikTok, I'll send them to YouTube, and it's only YouTube I care about. That's not the strategy. You should post shorts to build an audience on the short form platform itself, like Instagram and TikTok, not just the funnel to YouTube. A lot of people, even inside of ECC, we have this mindset that like you should only really post shorts to just get people to YouTube. No, not necessarily. Instagram and TikTok audiences are still valuable. You know, a lot of us have this belief because a lot of us have come from like the self-improvement space that like short form viewers, TikTok viewers, that, you know, they're worthless, they're retards. They probably are, but you can still make a fuck ton of money from doing that. And also, having like 1 million TikTok followers is still fucking awesome. So don't disrespect like the short form viewers or the short form platforms. I know lots of people in Bali who don't post at all to YouTube, and they make like 10 to 30K a month just from Instagram, TikTok, even more than that as well. So don't think to yourself like, oh, I'll just post shorts to grow my sort of main thing, which is YouTube. No, like just, okay, we're YouTubers. Just be Instagrammers and TikTokers as well. Like just grow the audience on those platforms just the same way that you do on YouTube. You can blow up on those ones. And you might actually blow up on those platforms and not YouTube, right? For me, I've always done best on YouTube, but you might just post, you know, like a good YouTube video, a good Instagram video, whatever. And it might be Instagram that blows up for you and not YouTube. Maybe your YouTube just stalls like it does for a lot of people, but then your Instagram goes to like 80K followers in the next few months. And then that's like your full-time focus. So don't disrespect like the other short form platforms, right? Because don't just think of them as like a vehicle to grow your main thing, which is YouTube. Just like grow an Instagram following, TikTok following, whatever. And to not overcomplicate it, just for now, pretend that YouTube Shorts doesn't exist. I think knowing that YouTube has a short sort of section, it kind of complicates things. Just make your goal to grow Instagram and TikTok with the best high quality short that you can. And then you may as well post that same short to YouTube Shorts as well. Does that make sense? It's like, I think YouTube Shorts just kind of fucks up the brain of people who mostly are focusing on YouTube, which is most of us here inside of ECC. If you don't think about YouTube Shorts, just think about Instagram and TikTok as separate platforms that you want to grow, because we've all got time to just grow them as well, because YouTube only takes like a few hours a week. These platforms only take a few hours a week anyway. So you may as well just grow on each one. And you'll post like a really good quality short, maybe like once a week onto Instagram and TikTok. And then you may as well just post the same one to YouTube as well. But when you're kind of thinking about YouTube Shorts, that's when it kind of fucks up your brain when you're normally like a long form creator. Just think of it as like, okay, you're already probably a YouTuber. You're already thinking about posting YouTube videos. Just also grow on TikTok and Instagram. Just have a following on those. The same way that you've got like a goal on how many subscribers that you want on YouTube, for example. Set a goal for how many followers you want for Instagram and TikTok as well. Because you may very well be the type of person who just randomly blows up on TikTok. And then you'll just think, oh, like naturally you'll just think TikTok's fucking awesome, even if you didn't think that right now, you know? So yeah, just like, don't disrespect these platforms. Just understand that like posting high quality is the meta for these platforms, churning out low quality content, and also like just clipping up your long form videos. That's like gone now. You have to actually make some like unique content for shorts. So what to actually post in 2026? Hopping on trends consistently works and isn't actually bad for these platforms. Basically, you see what's going viral and then you make your version of it. So just imagine this. Imagine you go onto Instagram one day and you go onto the Reels page. And you notice that there's a bit of a trend going on with maybe you've like scrolled past like two of the same kind of reels, which have like the same kind of caption or whatever. That's like a trend that's happening right now. And you can just recreate it with your own sort of like belief, hot take, style, whatever. You know that the phrase like hopping on trend, it sounds kind of like a bad thing. For Instagram and TikTok, it's actually the meta. It 100% is like the meta to basically see what's like everyone's kind of posting about right now, and then you just giving your own opinion of it. That actually is like the best tactic to grow on Instagram and TikTok right now. The one thing that just needs to stay the same though is that it's always for the same avatar and it's for the same transformation. So when you are going to do this, basically you go onto Instagram, you go onto TikTok, and by the way, you'll in the next module of this course, I'll walk you through it. But you'll see what's trending, you'll see what's kind of going viral. You recreate the style with maybe the same kind of music or caption or whatever like the sort of trend is, but you make sure it's for your avatar and for the transformation you usually talk about. Because we want the same kind of avatar, right? So for example, if you on YouTube, the avatar is like young guys and the transformation that they want is to become more attractive, so you kind of talk about looks maxing, then you do the same thing for this as well. So if the trend is something like, I don't know, previously there was one which was like, reasons you wouldn't want to be friends with me. Like that was like a caption that was going viral that people would put onto their short, and then they'd have like some other captions or they'll say something that kind of adds to it. So, you know, some girl was like, reasons you wouldn't want to be friends with me because I spend 3 hours getting ready or some shit like that. Your version of it could be reasons you wouldn't want to be friends with me because I'll give you a face rating out of 10. Some shit like that, that like someone who's your avatar who also wants the same kind of transformation that you do, he'll see it and it'll be intriguing to him because he'll think it's funny, you know, like he'll think like he can relate to it. But also what's interesting is everyone else will think it's kind of weird or cringe, which is actually perfect because we're not trying to go viral with this. We're just trying to attract the exact same avatar as usual, and also the sort of like on the topic of the same transformation that our avatar wants. So for example, my main channel, the avatar is young men, and the transformation is like basically Jeffrey to Adonis, like loser to winner, helping young men to like sort of improve their lives. If one of these trends I see goes on, you know, viral on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, I would I would copy like a lot of the same themes, so it's part of the same trend, but there'll be a unique part of it which I'll talk about sort of my audience, like I'll talk about basically the younger man I'm trying to help, and I will talk about the transformation I'm trying to help him with, which is sort of loser to winner, Jeffrey to Adonis, beta male to alpha male, and I just thought like that would be what's sort of unique. But I'd copy a lot of the same kind of trend, the audio, whatever. So I'm hopping on the trend, but then it's my version of it. And a lot of people will find it cringe, but the sort of avatar I'm trying to attract, it'll be perfect for him. He'll see it, he'll like it, he'll follow. So if we keep the same kind of avatar and transformation, then having a different format is okay. And by format, I mean basically what's the style of the content. because this is actually going to be based on what the trend is right now. In one trend, it might be, this sort of certain caption. So then that's like the format that you're doing, but it's for the avatar. Then the next day or the next week, the sort of style, the trend might change. And so the formats change of the content. It might be more of a day in the life. It might be a caption. It might be an audio. It might be you speaking to the camera. The format changes. But as long as you're sort of, your whole page is always for the same person, for the same transformation, that's okay. Does that make sense? So like imagine your whole, like imagine your TikTok profile right now. Imagine your Instagram profile. Imagine you see the videos on there and all of the videos look so different from one another because they're all kind of like different trends and viral topics and, they're different styles and everything. So all the videos look so different. But the one thing that's consistent for your entire Instagram page, your entire TikTok, is that it's always for the same person. It's always for the same transformation. The videos on your page might look very different from one another because they're different styles that you're doing, different viral trends that you're sort of giving your opinion on and whatever. But overall, the big sort of consistent theme is that it's always for the same person. Does that make sense? So it's like your content will look very different from one sort of Instagram reel to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, but it's always for the same person, so that your Instagram page would be like a gold mine for a young man who, for example, wants to become more attractive, because that's what your avatar and transformation is that you're going for. Now, the opposite of this, rather than hopping on trends, is what we can call is like raping the algorithm. Basically, like forcing your own style on the algorithm. Instead of seeing what's going viral and giving your opinion on it, you can sort of like force your own style onto the algorithm, and hopefully it blows up. It can blow up. It kind of did, like with my Jeffrey Adonis videos, like no one else was doing those kinds of videos. But the thing is, it's quite extreme, like it's quite rare for you to like do something which is so unique and it goes viral. And also, let's say it does work. The thing is, the culture changes on social media so quickly, so that if you do get like your own style that really performs, it's very likely that within like a couple of weeks, within a couple of months, that kind of format doesn't work anymore. So hopping on trends doesn't seem like, such a strong point, but it actually is really like the meta for these short form platforms particularly. So the meta is see what's trendy and make your own version of it with your own unfiltered cringe hot takes. The same rules apply, make it for your avatar, make it cringe for everyone else, right? So this is what I am seeing is doing the best, and also for like quite low effort, is basically you see what's going viral, and you don't copy it exactly, but you take the sort of style, the philosophy of it, and then you input your own sort of beliefs, hot takes, opinions over it. Does that make sense? So it's like whatever's trendy right now, you copy that, but you don't copy like the sort of the beliefs and opinions of that creator. You copy the sort of template trend, and then you put your sort of beliefs, hot takes, opinions, rants over it. That seems to be like so much better than you trying to make your own style completely, which then, let's say it doesn't perform like at all, which is just kind of demotivating. Or maybe eventually it does perform, which is really nice. But things move so quickly in social media that then it doesn't perform anymore after like just a few weeks or a few months. So then you've kind of just like, you've grinded the style and it's like kind of old now. That's why like being fast paced, seeing like what's called like trends on these platforms, seeing what's trending right now, hopping on, making your own version of it. It's such a versatile, fast way for you to sort of stay on top of the algorithm. And it's like you change like every week, but it's always for the same type of person, so that you're staying consistent in that realm. So that's all like the sort of theory, the knowledge here of the last few years that I've been using short form content. And now in the next module, we'll make a sort of a banger short together. Like I'll go step by step to show you how I would actually do this, so you can see all the little micro times that I, which buttons I'm clicking and all that shit. And you can just like follow along with me to get like the idea for the shorts. Mwah. Okay, so let's actually go through now a follow along for how I would get an idea for a banger short. So this is what we do. I'm just on Instagram here. I went onto the Reels option. You'll do this on your phone most likely. I would go through the Reels and I would try my best, first of all, not to just fucking start doom scrolling. So I might try and choose like the first 3 or something. I'll see a Reel that I could copy pretty easily. So for example, this one here is super easy.
Shit, we are getting fucking lean. No donuts, no cookies, no donuts, no cookies. Ascend, 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 ascend. Lean is law. Lean is law. Lean is law. We are in the deficit. We are getting fucking lean. No donuts, no cookies.
So bulking is harder, average cutting meal. So the trend of this one is basically we're saying that one thing, like the sort of popular narrative is that the thing we're not doing is harder, but the thing that we are actually doing, so we're cutting, is actually harder. So basically imagine you, like if you're in the fitness niche, you could copy this exactly with the exact same title, the exact same caption, whatever, maybe even the same audio, and just like with a different picture. Done. If you're not in the fitness niche, what's interesting is you could probably even still copy this exact same thing, but you'll just change it to like, so it fits with the thing. So let's say if, let's say I'm teaching you how to like grow on social media, right? So I might talk about like YouTube is harder, and then average like TikTok post or something, and it's like low views, or it's taken me fucking ages, or it's like, no, TikTok is harder, like this, and then average YouTube video, and I show like the editing takes ages. You see how I'm gonna copy the style, but I'm gonna implant like my own sort of niche, my own avatar transformation of this. If it works, then I might steal his audio as well. You can just click on it like on your phone and sort of save the audio, and then when you make your own version of it, you can just implant their audio straight over if that works. And I'll just copy like most of the same caption. Maybe I have to change a word or not. But for this one, if I was in like the sort of fitness niche, I'd copy the caption completely just with my own picture. Done. So that this would be like one idea, and I could like you could make a short, like look how many, it's got 100k view likes, so it's probably got over like a few million views. You could copy this in like 5 minutes. Done. You know. So then what I do is I'd copy this, I'd make my own version. Done. It'd take me a few minutes, and to get more ideas, I'll just scroll one more. This is more like dating self-improvement niche. So what the caption is about, okay, he's single, but he's not acting like it because in the future, he's going to be someone's husband. So it's clips of him doing something where he's being productive. If you happen to be in the sort of self-improvement dating kind of niche, you can copy the exact caption and then just put your videos over it. And then what you can do, if you're not in the self-improvement dating kind of niche, if you really like this style that he's made, you can keep most of the same caption, like the sort of philosophy of the caption, but slightly change it to what fits your sort of avatar transformation, and then change the videos as well. So we're basically taking either 100% of like the same sort of philosophy if we happen to be in the same kind of niche as him, dating, self-improvement. But if you're not in that, you can still, if you really like this style and you want to make it work for you, you can copy like 90-80% of it, just slightly change some of the words, and then put the videos that fit. And then the same thing here. Just go ahead and like steal the same audio as well, because that kind of audio with this kind of reel has performed, so that it's a good combination. Now this one, sometimes like Instagram, TikTok's interesting. Look at the views and look at the comments. Sometimes you get shown a bit of content that's actually not viral at all. So obviously skip this one. Don't copy one that's like hasn't worked for someone else, right? And now you become a part of me. You'll always be right here. You become a part of me. You'll always be my fear. I can't separate myself from what So same thing, right? If you happen to be in the bodybuilding niche, okay, you copy this exactly with the same audio, the same caption, done, easy. If you're not in the bodybuilding niche, then you'll change it slightly. You might change it to like looks maxing in the 90s. Let's say if looks maxing is your sort of niche, whatever, in the 90s, and you show like what guys probably did to look more attractive. He's just combing his hair. It's pretty normal. And in 2026, it's you like punching yourself in the face or something, done, okay? If it's like, I don't know, different niche about eating clean or something. You know, you copy like the philosophy, super easy. Now this has given you the sort of template to just put your own thing over it. If you happen to be in the exact same kind of avatar niche transformation as the original clip, then it's super easy. You copy basically 99% of it, just put your clips over it, done. If you happen to be in a slightly different niche, but you quite like that bit of content, if for example, it made you laugh, like this one made me laugh. So this is the type of one that I would probably copy. What's really nice if you if you're trying to think of which one should you use as your sort of template, you know, which trend should you jump onto, see the one that you actually genuinely like. Don't think about which one could get you viral. Watch it as a consumer and see which one you actually wanted to watch through. So for example, it was interesting. This one I found the most interesting because I'm quite interested in bodybuilding and the sort of evolution of how gay it's turned, right? This happened to make me laugh. So this is the kind of one that I would copy and I would sort of make as my sort of base compared to this one, which I paused like within a second because I just thought it was kind of gay. So I could remake this one, sure. But this one actually, like, authentically I found interesting to the point that I actually watched it to the end. Even though, like, you know, I'm kind of working right now to show you, I kind of just watched it just for fun, if that makes sense. So this is the one out of all the ones that we looked at today, this is the one that I would personally choose. This doesn't mean that you have to choose this one. It's because this one actually made me laugh. Does that make sense? So when you are looking for an idea, try, first of all, don't just end up doom scrolling, looking at the comments, whatever. See which reel of the first like 3 to 10 of the day that you sort of end up scrolling on, which one you actually watch yourself, which one actually makes you laugh. And then that's the one that you should probably go ahead and recreate, just implanting your own kind of idea over it. So if this is the one for me, the exact step-by-step what I would do, I'd click on the audio first. I'm not sure if I can do that on, oh yeah, you can. Okay, so I'd click on the audio, save audio. That's the first thing I'd do because the audio matches with the clip. It's interesting because look, this guy's done it. He's probably got a small page. He's got 38K views. And now so this guy's just recreated it just 5 hours ago and he's got 38,000 views on it. So he's basically doing the tactic that we're talking about today. And now you become a part of me. You'll always be right here. There, right? So I would, that's the first thing I would do is go save the audio. Then I would remember the caption or I would like screenshot it or something just so I write it perfectly out. You can even save it as well. I'm pretty sure it's this thing. Yeah, save it just so you don't lose it. So you've got the exact same kind of caption to go back to because when you close the app, you might lose it. Then what I will do, I'll go into the editor and then recreate it myself. So I'd write the caption the same way. I'd use the audio and implant the clips that I have to use. Each reel is going to be quite unique with the way that you'd edit it based on, what style it is. So that's like the first steps I would do is save the audio, save the reel so you don't lose it, and then just go through the editor and then copy the sort of style. Maybe you have to change a word or two there. Let's look at another one.
Not so aesthetic, more realistic morning in the life of a 22-year-old entrepreneur growing his first six-figure agency. We start off our mornings with hydration. If you're not doing so,
it's always so weird when guys like show their fucking girlfriend's body.
You're already starting the day off wrong. And then we get our peptides in. Maya was curious to put it in, but then she got scared. Pause, low key. LOL. The most important part, guys, a meditation is not to be skipped. Set the tone, start the day right. Then we get to.
You could do this as well. This one will be more unique because it's you actually speaking to the camera. Like you can't really just like copy his audio. That's like too much copying. You get what I mean? So it's like the trend is, okay, he's doing a morning routine and it's a little bit sort of realistic. It's unfiltered. He even mentioned peptides, which is something you inject into your body to like be like sort of unnatural or something. And he's kind of talked about that. So you could copy this, but you wouldn't steal his audio because that would actually be like too much and now you just seem like a fucking weirdo who's like taking his voice but for your clip. So this is one where, for example, you'd copy the original music. See here, this is the music. But you'll talk over it in like somewhat of a similar style, but you wouldn't use the exact full audio from him because that's kind of like, then you're not like actually being authentic. You're trying to fit your sort of morning routine into his one when it should actually be your voice.
I want every single person inside of the Epstein files, including you, including Elon, including everyone, to be investigated to the full force of the law because it is not down to them to admit wrongdoing. They go to court and they prove they did nothing wrong. Who paid Jeffrey Epstein and made him so rich? What?
This is the kind of one we wouldn't really copy because it's between two big figures. We can't really take this trend, whatever.
For me, that is the only reason I keep fighting. There is nothing to save myself for or give myself to. I fight because I know nothing else.
I told that bitch like, ooh, baby, what you wishing for? Maybe you should wish it more. Maybe the world is yours. Maybe when you raise it.
This is one which maybe we can kind of imitate, but it's a little bit harder because it's got to be an impressive PR. This looks like more of a real clip rather than, it being faked. So this is the kind of one I'd skip over as well. This could have worked, but it didn't actually go viral. So you've got to look, because this actually would have been so easy for us to copy. But then only 1,000 likes. I can't see the views on the computer version of this, but like 1,000 likes isn't worth. It's not like a trend enough, basically.
Protein, 1.3 grams per pound. Low carb, low fat, no matter. Calorie deficit, matter. Steps, 10K. Cardio, weightlifting, sleep, 8 hours.
This would be an amazing one to copy. Teach you how to, and then change it to your transformation. So teach you how to looks max, but you can't understand complete sentences. So it might be like bone smashing, injecting meth, calorie deficit, like that. You know what I mean? You can just copy this. Okay, teach you how to grow on social media, but you can't understand complete sentences. Low effort, high effort, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You know what I mean? You can just, you'd copy 90% of it just with your own style. This is like a really good, I might even save this one for myself actually. This is like a really, really good one to copy. I'd hop on this type of one fast, done. All of us could copy this, but just with our own sort of words inside of there. And of course, again, you wouldn't copy her audio for this one because we're not fucking retarded. We're not trying to like, you know, just have her audio above us. It would be that we copy the caption and the sort of rawness. Maybe we'll have a book in front of us as well, or maybe something else. We can look at our phone, whatever. You don't have to copy like so much to the point that now you've lost your own fucking soul or style or whatever. But it's like what we're copying here is this caption completely, apart from maybe the words if we've got a different sort of niche. And then also the sort of vibe of how she's doing it, where she says the word and it's broken English, whatever. You don't have to copy something like the same words she says in the video. You don't have to copy her audio because that's just her voice. You may as well put your voice. You don't have to copy that she's got a book there. You could, if it's more natural for you, it doesn't have to be a book. You don't even have to have anything. You could just do it from memory. You could just do it from your phone. You know, just like you've got your own style inside of that. You don't have to wear the same kind of fucking jewelry or clothes. You could be shirtless if it's about fitness, you know? So you've got your own style in there, but we're copying the sort of thing that's actually making it trendy, right?
Talk to me, girl.
This is just like a thirst trap, so obviously again, look, it's not performed, so we skip this one.
Bro, it's a Valentine week. Wow, Valentine week. So what? I'm not a kid to celebrate Valentine week.
We wouldn't copy this trend, most likely. Didn't perform, so we skip this one.
Das ist die beste Kombo. Ihr geht ins Gym, danach holt ihr euch was Gutes zu essen und schaut währenddessen Anime. Es wird nicht besser als das.
You could maybe copy this, but I don't know, you're speaking in Dutch or something, so I didn't perform, so we skipped this
What
one.
happens if you take creatine every day? Well, this shit is not just some basic gym powder.
We probably wouldn't imitate this because this is supposed to be for like, you know, a unfiltered doctor who swears. Probably we're not going to copy the same style. I've got to the point now where like the algorithm's giving me like, it's already seen the things that I've paused at, so now it's just giving me shittier content. Maybe this, I mean, it's a pretty funny, it really performed, but you probably, I don't know if you could like, I mean, to be fair, yeah, you could probably imitate this one with your own niche. This is supposed to be for like a relatable life moment, but you could do the exact same caption, but then with your specific relatable, annoying ass small moment for your niche. So for example, let's say again, you teach like, you know, looks maxing for guys, and it's something particular that happens. Like, you know, you're styling your hair and one just goes off and you're like, you try and fix it 3 times. You're like, like this, or it's I don't know, like basically some like you could actually copy this exact same caption and just the same the same kind of style as well. The hell, but with your thing, so you could copy this one. But basically, you get the point by now. Hopefully, that we're just gonna go through. I would really suggest don't go so much. Like look within the first like 3 reels or TikToks that you see of the day when you're looking for an idea. Take one of them as the sort of trend that we're going to copy, make your own version of it, and then this is how I would do this. And then you can go, the editing's always going to be unique with each one, so I can't really show you step by step how I'd edit one, but most of it is just like copying the audio or whatever, and copying the caption, and then make your own version of it, post it. You can even post it to to our community as well for like some reviews, feedback, and stuff. But this seems to be the meta as of right now of how to grow on social media for the short form platforms. So I hope this helps you so you get some ideas. Go ahead and follow this advice, and then it'll be interesting to see everyone post about it in the community, and let's see some of us get like massive fucking views in this. Let's fucking go. Let's talk about the product to sell, or rather the products to sell, because there's two products which I think are really, really easy and so good to sell as beginners. The first one is an online course, and you've probably heard of like courses before. A course is basically just like a playlist of exclusive videos. It's like we'll make a playlist, like a selection of videos. It'll be exclusive because we're going to sell it. We won't release it for free. And people will pay good money for this. People will pay like $99 for like a selection of videos that we've just made, like training materials. They really will pay for it. Honestly, if anything, this actually sells like the most because people yearn for content these days. People like love information overload. So this actually sells really well. And this is, by the way, a absolute like 100 out of 10 product. You know how it goes up to like 10 out of 10. This is, if there's one product you could ever sell in your life, this, at least right now, as of like 2026 and also the previous years, but like right now, this is fucking like it. Once you get more and more into business, you will realize like what a godsend being able to sell a product like this is, like how easy it is to sell and to deliver and everything. Then the second product that will sell alongside this is one-to-one coaching. That's basically where someone will pay you extra money for you to go on calls with them and also to like message them on like WhatsApp or something and just give them advice. So that's also like super easy for you to do. And so these are the two products that we're going to sell. These are, I really think so, a 10 out of 10 product to sell to make your first $1 million online. I've made about $5 million from mostly just this one, really. They are absolutely just perfect products for you to sell when you're starting off, all the way up to like being a big influencer. Now, there are some influencers who shouldn't sell these products. They're usually the type of influencers who are not really giving advice in their content. So basically, this would work, like the course and the coaching. These are the products for probably about 95% of the creators I speak to who join our program. But maybe about 5% of the guys who are watching this is actually not the right play for you. If you're going to make videos where you're basically kind of like going to be educational and giving advice to people, kind of like, you know, how my videos are, then this is the right thing for you. Easy, so easy, done. If you're going to make videos which are very different to that, for example, you're not going to be sort of educating people, but rather you're just making more like beautiful cinematic vlogs or something like that, or, you know, films, or you're just doing silly kind of like challenges or something, there'll be different ways for you to monetize, and this way here is probably not the right one. But basically, you're probably part of the 95% of people who should sell these products, so just go with that. And for the small percentage of people who are not right for this, when you come onto my calls on Sundays and when I review your content, I'll tell you, because it's for me, it's like blatantly obvious. I see like a creator's kind of content and I think, oh yeah, you can't sell this. Like the idea is basically, if you are making videos similar to me, which is kind of educational, there's videos with stories, and the whole point is to help someone with some kind of transformation through education, advice, those kinds of things, then these two products are perfect. But if you're not really educating people, if you're more making like entertainment content, and if you're more not really giving advice in your content, that's when you can monetize in a different way. For example, you can take sponsorships or you can make different kind of products, but we can come to that. Basically, most people who are watching this are right here, and you can sell these two products, and these two products are fucking awesome to sell. What if you have a dream product you want to make? So every now and then, you can probably skip this section, but there's like a small percentage of people who come to me and they say like, oh no, I really want to sell this thing. Like I really want to make like my own clothing or my fragrance, or I want to make some drinks, or I want to make software or something. And to that I say, go ahead and you will make that, because if that's your dream product, then 100%, you know, come like make it into reality. That's awesome. But just understand that if you do want to sell a product like these kinds of things, they are way harder to create and sell because of the fact that it costs a lot of money to usually make these. You have to get like the inventory and everything. You often need to hire people for it. You need to test things and whatever. So these can still be like really good products. You can still make a lot of money from them. In fact, you can sometimes make more money from things like software than you would from like coaching and courses and stuff. But the problem is these are kind of like the next level upwards. So you will make your dream product, but it's better to start by selling the products we mentioned before, the course and the coaching, first to make a great amount of money. Then you can make the dream product. So what I would recommend is, let's say like this is where you're at right now. Start by selling the products we listed before, and what we're going to talk about in this course, in this training program is, okay, we're going to sell this course thing, we're going to sell this coaching. Get to the point that you're making like a really good amount of money, then sell your dream product from there, right? Trying to sell the thing which is hard to make right away when you're broke, not so much of a good play, because then it's like hard for you to buy the sort of inventory and whatever. I know a lot of like small creators who they've just like burned themselves out because they refuse to sell. Like these are really good products to sell to make the first sort of bits of cash that you need. But then they really don't want to do that. So they go straight to selling the thing they really want to sell, but then they're stressed out like crazy because now they can't even place the order from like the warehouse that's manufacturing the product that they've wanted to make. And they have to wait, and they have to like, like fuck around with like their taxes and all, like ask money, and like it starts getting complicated, right? So don't think you're above these products. These products are fucking awesome to get to 2K, 5K, 10K, 100K a month. And that will take you to such a good level. And then, like, let's say this is course and coaching. These are what's called like a cash flow business, like cash flow product. When you get to a really good level with these, that's when you can go for the big play. You've got a great amount of money coming in every month. That's when you go for like the sort of the bigger product that you want to do. Right? If you want to, by the way, you don't have to do this at all. I haven't made these kinds of things. I don't really want to. But if you do have like a dream product you've wanted to make, by all means, go ahead. You're going to do that. But start with selling these things to make the first few K a month first. Then you can go make the dream product once you've got the cash flow from these. Does that make sense? So just bear that in mind, because I've seen so many people who come in who are like very stubborn with like, no, I don't, like, I want to make this this fragrance, or I want to make this software or something. And I want to support your dreams, of course, but it's silly to think you're going to make a software when right now you're poor and you also don't know how to code. And so you need to hire someone, but then you're poor, you don't have money for it. Or you want to make something that requires inventory, you want to sell like your own clothing or whatever. And sure, I want you to do that because it'll be fun as fuck for you to make like the dream product you've been thinking about. But when you're poor and you don't have money to even fucking place the order at from the manufacturer, it's like, well then what the fuck are you going to do? And so then this is when the same people start to debate getting like a full-time job. And I'm like, wait, you're just going about it the wrong way. Just start by selling this easy product. Make a few K a month from this first, then you can go ahead and sell the bigger thing that you want to. And if you don't really have a big dream to sell any of these, then don't force yourself. Don't just think like, oh, well, software can make money. Because it's like, yeah, it can, but it can also lose a fuck ton of money. Most people lose money on it. And it's like, you've got to really fucking have like the skill and the will to create one of these into a success. If you don't really have like some dream product like these to make, just stick to this, get to 100K a month first, go start making like $1 million a year first in the next like 3 to 5 years. Then like eventually you can think about these bigger things. Like for example, I have just stuck to these things, got up to like 150K a month from course coaching. And it's like, I can do these things, but I don't actually really want to. You don't have to necessarily do them. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. I've got friends who make like 600, 700K a month from coaching. So you can get fucking filthy rich from this. And I find that most of us here, the kind of people I speak to who are small creators, we actually would rather sell just sort of education-based stuff anyway. We actually quite enjoy hopping on calls and teaching people things and recording educational content. And you'd rather have like the trials and tribulations of these products rather than these ones, which is now like you have to contact the manufacturer, but then they had a fire in their fucking warehouse. And so you got to get a different one, and the shipment's going to be late, and the EU taxes have changed, whatever. This changes your sort of day-to-day life to being more of like a real businessman, which sounds like a good thing. But for me, I don't want to be a businessman. I just want to be more of like a teacher, content creator. I just want to be like an influencer, and I just want to like teach things. So that's why I stuck to this entire time, right? So this is going to be level 1. We're going to sell these. Eventually, when you make enough money, you can go to these, but you don't have to. We're going to focus in this program on the course and the coaching. So like I said, that was a full course taken from my paid program. It's the top link in the description. Inside of this program, you get the new updated course, if you want the new one, which actually helps you to make money faster, we've actually had guys who have made money within the first 1 to 2 weeks of starting this business model. If I show you right here, it's insane. Like the wins, like you watched like basically the course I made last year, and look at the one that I recently made. People have literally joined in the first 11 days, gotten 100,000 views, hit 1,000 subscribers, made $500. Usually it takes a little while to make some money from this business model, but people are making money from it like way faster, getting their sales, popping off on social media. Like the results of the new course that I've made inside this program is insane. Never mind like all these other courses that you'll get if you join the program. If you want to become a content creator, if you want to make money online, this is the place. Like there's no doubt. Just click on the top link and have a look if you can afford it. If you want to join, if you want to take this journey seriously, I highly recommend joining, getting one of the more premium tiers and getting my mentorship, where I'll literally like look at your content and tell you what to do differently. We've got live calls, we've got the community where you can come in and post your links and we roast each other's content. You get so many ideas. You can see I'm active in the community. Look, I'll be replying to people in here who have got one of the premium tiers where basically you get my support. And I'm literally like looking at people's content and telling them what to do better. Like imagine that. Like I've got millions of followers. I've made millions of dollars. I make over $100,000 a month, and I'm literally looking at people's content and replying to them and giving them advice. This was just 17 hours ago, right? So it's just insane how much feedback and value you can get here. That's what I'd recommend is you join with the VIP annual if you can afford it. If not, get one of the other ones and just join our community, level up in this business. Let's see everyone who made money. Nathaniel made $500 this week. Mustaf got his first paycheck. Like people are making money in here. Let's fucking go. Join with the top link in the description.